Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another Dragon Ball figure news video. Oh boy, has it been a while since I have been able to say that. Yes, I know it has been quite a minute since the last Dragon Ball figure news video. In fact, the last Dragon Ball figure news video that I uploaded was actually on May 28th, about a month-ish ago. So needless to say, it has definitely been a bit of a fat minute. I do definitely apologize about that. My motivation for content was kind of in a little bit of a down point. Sometimes it just happens, you know, you're not really feeling it at the time. And I never really like to force myself to make content because then I know I won't enjoy it, and I know you, the viewer, won't enjoy me being all ooh about it. So we're back in the swing of things, though. We are going to play a little bit of catch up today, and I'm going to explain to you how this works really quick. By the way, if you have not checked out the latest live stream, I actually streamed recently 5 days ago opening the Kong Super Saiyan 3 figures that we've been talking about for so long on the Figure News series, so definitely go check that out. I think what I'm going to do from here on out is I'm actually going to live stream figure unboxings. Don't get me wrong, I do like doing the figure unboxing videos, but I feel like for how much time I need to put into making them and editing them right now, it's just not worth the amount of views that I'm getting, unfortunately, especially considering how sometimes the figure news videos just pop off, and obviously they're a lot more easier to make. But I still want to do unboxing content, and I've actually been really enjoying doing it in the live stream format. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to target for at least one unboxing stream a month, because I think that's definitely doable. I have a bunch of figures that are basically just, you know, sitting here to be able to be used. So I think I'll basically do that, where I'll accumulate a couple of figures, and then at least once a month I'll do a unboxing live stream. So definitely look forward to that. But as with the last figure news video being on May 28th, here is what we're going to do. Obviously, it would be kind of a lot, right, if we were going to look through every single piece of figure news that came out within the last month. So that video, you know, being probably 3-4 hours long, what I decided to do is a little bit of a compromise. As we usually do, look at DBZFigures.com for a bit of a summary on the figure news. We are basically going to go through everything that came out since that video in terms of figure news. We'll talk about a couple of little extra things here in between that I would like to include. But don't worry, it's just not going to be the super detailed information where I'm looking at all of Baggy's tweets and stuff like that for every single little thing for all of the different pieces of news. But we will be back into the swing of things this coming week. Technically, with the schedule that I had, at least in my head, this video should have technically gone up on Sunday, but sometimes these videos go up on Tuesday. That would have been an unboxing week, and then this coming weekend / next Tuesday will be a figure news week. So I will do another figure news video then, right, just to basically kind of get us back on track, because obviously, you know, I just want us to be able to, you know, be back on the regular schedule. Not to mention, I think with some of the stuff that we have coming up for Dragon Ball figures, and especially with AX coming up this week, I think we will definitely have plenty of news to cover for the upcoming week. So that's my little spiel. Thank you for listening to this bit of an intro, and we are going to get into the video now. So obviously, leaving us off at May 28th, the last thing that we saw, we already covered everything here. We talked about that stress, the stress Dragon Ball Scouter, because I remember us talking about it in the video. In terms of figures, right, unfortunately, there wasn't anything Dragon Ball related for this particular Dragon Ball Weekly News for the 3rd. It was a figure from Sandland. Funny enough, the first figure that we have to take a look at here is actually the B version of the Dragon Ball Arise Piccolo Daimao. So I talk about these figures all the time, right? I'm not going to go too into depth with this just because of the fact that y'all already know how we feel about these, and I know that most people aren't really interested, but obviously since it is Dragon Ball figures, I still want to cover it. So we talked about how obviously these figures many times in the past are kind of like hype beast figures because they're basically worse than the quality of KUJI figures, yet they are somehow still like triple, quadruple the price, and KUJI figures are already pretty disgusting. So as you can see, this figure is $314.99. I really don't know how they keep getting away with this, to be honest. It's so funny that we complain about the KUJI prices all the time, and I see nobody talk about these, but I think it's just because people know what they are and just acknowledge the fact that they're not even worth acknowledging in terms of like the price and the quality and stuff. But it is always cool to still have more figures out on the market, and it is nice to have this color scheme for Kami definitely being available. His proportions do look a little bit weird though, I will definitely say. Like, there's something about them that feels a little bit off, but either way, that is what Kami's looking like. The official site just announced this on their Japanese page. Wasn't a huge surprise, given that it has been on the Jump calendar release for a while now. Yeah, they're moving towards Cell Art characters with first form Cell. They came back to Kami and Piccolo Daimao, right? Because obviously, I believe those were characters that they technically missed when it came to Dragon Ball stuff. Yeah, and there's no more Arise figures for the rest of the year, which kind of doesn't surprise me. People must buy these, right? Like, surely people have to buy these if they keep making more. But I really wonder who, I mean, I always say it's like hypebeast stuff, but really, who is buying them? Like, are hypebeast people even buying this? Because I would think that it would be like, oh, well, you know, I would just rather get a, you know, KUJI figure that's of better quality for so much cheaper. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, bro. But regardless, let's go ahead and move on. We did have some Dragon Ball t-shirts drop. I'll just throw these in here real quick just in case, because I do like to talk about this type of stuff. Cool designs for sure. I actually might want to get that Super Saiyan 3 Goku one. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like it. The Super Saiyan Goku one is cool too. Some acrylic stands and stuff like that. Always interesting to see what they have. I believe we also talked about those in a previous video. And then we have some Dragon Ball related shirts. I don't know why these images are so small, but obviously we have one with Kid Goku on the Nimbus there. We have one of Kame House, and then we have one of Goku and Bulma on the car, which is pretty cool. Alright, so moving past that, a quick update about Pan, which I believe, if I do remember, this figure is actually down for pre-order by this point. Let's see, it might still be, no, okay. What is interesting about this figure, I will say, we'll kind of talk about it a little bit later when we get to it, but this figure went up before Super 17, and for some reason, it's still up, and Super 17 went down. I don't know if it's just because they decided that, they decided that Super 17, they wanted a more limited window so people would be more inclined to get it, or they didn't think Pan would do as well, so they have her up for longer. I'm not really sure what they're doing with this one, but if you would still like to pre-order Pan, obviously you can. I do believe we talked about this in a previous video though, but obviously I just wanted to obviously still talk about it and cover it in this video. I apologize if this video is a little bit of a mess, by the way. Don't worry, we will get to some of the really newer stuff later in the video. I just, you know, obviously want to cover all of this stuff. But yeah, I think we did talk about Pan in a previous video, but it is still cool to see more GT stuff, right? Because obviously, we want more GT representation in terms of figures and stuff like that, because there's currently like, well, before, I guess I should say, before recently, there was currently like El Zippo, so it's very nice to see that we're actually going to be getting some more stuff for her, and she'll be coming out in 2025, which is kind of crazy. Still, to this day, I think that is definitely like my biggest complaint with Premium Bandai, honestly, is the fact that the shipping is so high. And if the shipping is so high, these figures better be getting here lickety-split, and they do not get here in any sort of timely manner, unfortunately, which really stinks, if I'm being honest. But regardless, though, that is Pan. So yeah, definitely very cool, though, that at least she's a little bit cheaper, although I feel like this should have been a $50 figure at most, considering her size, but oh well. Bandai will be Bandai, right? Let's go ahead and go back to this page then here. So in terms of Dragon Ball Weekly news here, I don't think that they talked about any of the figures Oh, they did actually. They talked about the BOS Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the Clear Eyes Beast, and the Solid Edge Works featuring Goulda. I'm really hoping... Okay, good. I was going to say, I'm really hoping that this doesn't blast your ears. Yeah, so for this video, they did actually show off what the little clear acrylic stands look like and compared them to a beanbag for size comparison, I guess. Kind of a weird size comparison to make, but go off, King. Yeah, you can see them there compared to our funny V-Jump Man. They're actually pretty big. They're kind of bigger than I expected them to be 100% honest with you. But yeah, so they talked about these figures, which will be coming out. I know that actually Goku is already out in Japan, though I haven't seen anybody talk about Gohan Beast. I don't know if just nobody in Japan picked him up, but I do know that for us stateside, these figures are going to be coming out this month, and I am getting Beast and Super Saiyan 3. So look forward to that in whatever particular video I decide to put that into, or live stream, or what have you. And obviously Goulda also, I believe, just recently released too. Okay, so the special SDCC exhibit, obviously whenever SDC rolls around, we always like to talk about it because they always give us some really cool Dragon Ball figure info. And it seems like this time there's going to be a specific focus on Daima, which makes sense because obviously Daima is supposed to come out at the end of this year. We still don't have an actual release date for it, but as you can see here, the official site announced below the Dragon Ball exhibition at SDC 2024. For the luck of people who are able to attend, there will be free exhibition again like in the past, but the exclusives may be ticketed for attendees only. Let's hope that Bandai re-releases the figures for pre-orders on their website after the event. That is kind of what they usually do. And we'll actually take a look at those figures right now, considering that we're talking about SDCC. Right, obviously here you can see the official Dragon Ball website has a little SDCC page, which is pretty cool. As you can see that there are a bunch of pictures of people in cosplay and stuff from last year. You may remember, if you've been following my Dragon Ball figure news series for a while, this Cell Max and Piccolo inflatable from a couple of years ago, or actually I guess it would have been last year, right, because all this stuff I think was from last year. Yeah, they had the superhero display, which was really cool. Man, super sick. I would love to go to San Diego Comic-Con one year to be able to, like, you know, look at this stuff and, you know, see it all in person. I think that that would be so awesome, but I digress. Yeah, wait a minute. I know them. Well, not know them personally, but I was going to say that's Brown Bakugo. He's a content creator on, like, TikTok and YouTube Shorts. That's pretty cool. I was going to say, I swear I recognized his girlfriend or maybe his wife. I actually don't know if they're married. Regardless, though, this is what we're looking forward to San Diego Comic-Con. As you can see, it's going to be July 25th to the 28th. So that is when we are going to get all of our juicy figure news. Usually we get it within the first, like, day or so. But they do usually have, like, a couple of things the second day and usually not the third day because, you know, there's not as many people those days. But regardless, they usually do have info pretty quick, so look forward to those days. I always like to do an SDCC recap video to kind of give you everything that dropped during that time, so I will definitely be doing that again this year, excuse me, so look forward to that. And obviously, as you can see, all of the different things that are going to be represented this year. Of course, in terms of games, Sparking Zero makes complete sense, right? Our GOAT Dokkan battle, you'll love to see it. Legends will also be there. Kakarot, which is really interesting. I don't know if that's just because like, I'm not sure if that's there just because they're just gonna have it, or if there's gonna be, like, some actual new DLC or something like that. I feel like that would make more sense than anything, but I don't think that there's any more Kakarot DLC scheduled, at least as far as I know. Definitely let me know in the comment section below. However, in terms of our lovely Dragon Ball figure shenanigans, of course, we have SH Figuarts, Ichibang Coogi, aka Ichiban Show for those of us here in the West, Bam Presto, Figurized Standard, Dragon Stars, and Gashapon. So very, very cool. Obviously, I am very excited to see what they bring this year. They do usually show off some of the figures that aren't even released in Japan yet for Bam Presto and for Ichibang Coogi. So that is always pretty cool to see. But they do usually show off some stuff that's coming out like way, way far in the future that we don't even know about yet. So it'll be interesting to see if we actually do end up getting that, right? If we do end up getting like any brand new stuff, because that's usually what happens from the years past. Also, Dragon Ball Super card game will be there. And it's also interesting that they list the Dragon Ball official site as one of the people who's going to be there. I'm not exactly sure how that works. But regardless, though, yeah, so these guys, right, do they have the actual, like, full pictures of them, or is this just going to take me to the Instagram account? No, interesting. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, calm down. So many pop-ups. Holy cow. So this is what I was going to show you anyway. So this actually works out that we basically just scroll down to it. We have the exclusives for SDCC this year. If you guys remember in a previous video, I actually did talk about these exclusives right here when they gave us a little bit of a sneak peek at them, and we now finally have basically the full look at the figures. So this is the basically retool of the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, right? That is going to be coming with the Gohan. As you can see, he is going to be 1100 or 11,000 yen rather, which I think is like 80 USD, something like that, with how the funny conversion rates work. Hold on. I'll pull this up for you just in case. Regardless, though, I will say, right, here's the thing. It is kind of crazy that this figure, a figure that, okay, so apparently the conversion rate is only 68.12, but I kind of doubt that that's how they're going to charge this, because obviously they don't take the exact yen conversion rate. They always just basically put whatever price they want on it, so we'll see what ends up happening. But regardless, though, I feel like this is still going to be an expensive figure for just a retool of the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. However, you do get plenty of new stuff with this, so of course we have a bunch of different faceplates here. Interesting that they chose the Turles movie for this, because obviously if you're familiar with Dokkan, this is of course the GOAT himself, Chiriku. So that's kind of interesting that they included that face. Obviously with Gohan being there, it makes complete sense that they were going to do this, right? With obviously having the ad break Goku and Gohan scene, which is still really cool that they included this at all in terms of the face, right? I assume he's going to be coming with this power pole if this is in the display, which is pretty cool because I think the only SHF power pole that we've had up until this point, as far as I know, besides it was included in Kid Goku, was like that special one that came with Dragon Ball Super Broly stuff, or was advertised for Dragon Ball Super Broly anyway. So that is pretty cool. It's interesting to see the very early Dragon Ball kind of eyes on display here, with the bigger eyes for Goku, but still very, very cool. And then, of course, we have this iconic shot, and this is the reason why this figure is going to cost so much. Not only is this going to come with Gohan himself, but it is also going to come with Nimbus. So you are getting all of these different pieces, right, as one big package. So I suppose it makes sense why they're going to charge so much for the figure, but it still kind of feels like a lot for a figure that was originally 35 bucks, I'm not going to lie, in terms of the price. So we'll have to see how it's actually priced, because unfortunately, even if we look on the Instagram, which I want to show you those two things too, but obviously these are the images that we're looking at right now. They don't actually have the price on these figures, unfortunately. I wish that they did, but they don't, sadly. But yeah, Goku and Gohan on Quinto Un. And then, of course, this, I believe, is that first image that we got originally, where it was basically like the preview for it. And then we go back and basically loop around. So, obviously, these guys are going to be you know, Comic-Con exclusives, right? And it is interesting, I will say, the other reason why I wanted to pull up the Instagram page specifically is, first of all, for some reason the colors are like desaturated, I swear. But let me go back to Goku where he's holding the pole. Yeah, look at the difference in colors here. That is strange. But I digress. It is interesting to say that on here, they do mention that apparently Goku is a new mold. I kind of find that hard to believe, if I'm being honest with you, because like it is quite literally saying Raised on Earth Goku. I mean, it looks a little bit different, I guess, but I still feel like that they had to just retool the original mold. I don't know. It's also kind of a shame, I will say, that it's not a 3.0 Goku, because people have been dying for a 3.0 Goku, and I still don't understand why they don't make one, because all these third-party companies are absolutely crushing them. I mean, I think that Demoniacal Fit base form Goku is basically, if not like tied with the Kong Super Saiyan 3 Goku, probably the most popular like third-party figure I've ever seen. I see that thing on Instagram like every single day. Now, granted, like I said in a previous video, I don't think it would have been smart of them to make the first 3.0 Goku be a event exclusive, because that would have been a little bit scummy, I'm not gonna lie. So I do hope that they actually do make one, but I think it's just kind of from the perspective of like, man, they could have made one so long ago, and then this guy could have been a 3.0 Goku, you know what I mean? Regardless, though, I do still think that this figure looks pretty good. And before I talk about the shenanigans of how you will probably be able to get this, because obviously not everybody's going to be able to go to Comic-Con, let's go ahead and take a look at the other exclusives first. So this one was probably the most controversial when it came down to it, right? We have the Trunks. Now, it is interesting. This guy is a lot cheaper, as you can see, including the 10% tax at least. He is 7,700 yen compared to the 11,000 yen, as you can see there. So if we type this in, you can see this is going to end up being, you have to look right here, because for some reason this doesn't change whenever you type this into Google, and even if you hit enter, I don't understand why it does that. But 47, right, dollars is basically how much this would technically be with the exact conversion rate. However, again, we know Bandai well, and they definitely are not going to be giving us their good graces in terms of exact conversion rates. So I'm guessing that this guy will probably be around $70. I don't think that that will be a surprise if that ends up being the case. But let's go ahead and take a look at some more pictures here, because I know in the original image, people were kind of like, about this figure. So let's see what we got here. We obviously have Trunks in the father-son Gallic Gun pose, right? I will say, I think this face is pretty decent. We have a little smirk on him, though I feel like his face is almost like too wide, if that makes sense. I feel like that's the best way to describe it. This was obviously that original image that we got. I don't know why they chose this one and not the Gallic Gun one, because I feel like this one looks way better than this one, but go off, King, I guess. We also have this one here with the gritting teeth face. And then, of course, we have the sword slash with the open mouth. Something about this open mouth face is not doing it for me. I gotta keep it real with you. I don't really know what it is about it, to be 100% honest, but something about that face is just really not doing it for your boy. I think that this is one where, like, I don't know, it's a bit of a toss-up for me, because it kind of feels like how I felt about Gohan last year. Let me actually pull that up, because this will be relevant to what I'm going to say later in the video about how you actually get these figures. When it came to Gohan, right, they basically did the same thing that they're doing with this Trunks last year, where they took a old figure, right, and then they gave it some new face plates, and then they made it a convention exclusive, right? With this Gohan right here, where they also gave us the Ghost Goku, right? They took this figure that was a very old Gohan figure, and then basically just, unfortunately, there's no, like, you know, cooler product images there, besides just the normal one. But they basically just gave him a couple of newer face plates, right? And then obviously they changed the hair. I kind of felt like with this Gohan, I don't think the faces are, like, terrible or anything, but to me, they feel a little off, right? Just, like, slightly off. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's just kind of like that line between how it should look and a little bit of that Uncanny Valley vibe sort of thing. But I feel like this face for me was definitely the best one, I think, like the Screaming face. But regardless, something about the faces just felt a little bit off to me. And that's kind of how I feel about this Trunks, right? To me, he just looks slightly incorrect. Like, it's not bad, but it's not as good as I know Tamashii can do. And it's really interesting that it seems to always be these figures that are, excuse me, like re-releases of older figures, right? Because obviously, like we talked about in that preview video, whoops, not Gogeta. In this one, I pulled up the fact that obviously this is just a remake of an older Trunks figure. So I don't know why it's always these remake type of figures, but let's go ahead and go back and look at him on here. So you can see the only extra detail that we get on here. Trunks is made with pearl paint to recreate the moment when he is firing the Gallic gun, which is also attached. I don't know why they say that. Oh, I guess they mean this. Yeah. I was going to say, there's no Gallic gun effect. Like, there's no, like, big, you know, like, beaming Gallic gun effect here. But I guess technically that one does count. Yeah. So what's really interesting is that I feel like the pearlescent paint doesn't work super well with this figure, to be honest. I may still get this guy just because I don't have a Dragon Ball Super Trunks, and this is technically going to be the easiest way to get one. But I feel like the paint might look a little bit better in person, maybe, but I feel like I kind of agree with this comment here, right? Maybe it should have been a little bit more bluish, right? Because I think that their intention that they were going for is that it's supposed to be like he's enveloped in the Gallic gun aura or like the energy. But I feel like it would have made a lot more sense if he would have been enveloped in the Super Saiyan Rage aura, right? Would that not have made much more sense because that's what the actual transformation is? You can let me know in the comments what you think about that. But yeah, that is Trunks, so I think the jury's still out on how we feel about that bad boy. And this, of course, for me personally, is certainly the Big Kahuna himself. We have, literally, the Big Kahuna. We have Jiren Final Battle Exclusive Edition. It makes sense that this figure is releasing considering the MUI Goku, which we talked about in a previous video, is going to be getting a re-release later this year, which is kind of funny because we just got the Toyotaro one. But regardless, I really don't have any complaints about the boy. I think they cooked with Jiren personally. I think that they absolutely nailed the alternate color scheme, right? Maybe I will say I know it's not everybody's aesthetic with like the sort of gimmick type of thing of the shiny pants, right? But I think it kind of works for the energy, right, that obviously would be enveloping Jiren. They definitely could have just gave him more red pants because obviously the whole thing is supposed to be like, you know, obviously his pants are normally black, but when he powers up, he's, you know, has like that reddish pinkish aura around him. So that's kind of what it's supposed to be emanating. And that's also why Jiren's complexion is not gray like the normal figure, right? It's obviously more of that pink hue because obviously it's supposed to be full power Jiren, which I honestly think they nailed Jiren's complexion really well. Rather than making him gray and kind of making him this pink tone, I think works amazing, if I do say so myself. I think they really, really cooked on the color scheme of this guy. And this sculpt, right, like the original Jiren sculpt for this figure was already fantastic. They didn't change the sculpt in any way as far as I know. Let's see if the Tamashii page actually says anything different. Jiren is painted a pearl color. Yeah, no, okay. Also comes with a Kidan effect, so you can recreate your favorite action scenes with Jiren. Yeah, the little ball there. Pretty cool. But yeah, so obviously the original sculpt of this figure was really good, so it kind of doesn't surprise me that this guy turned out as good as he did. But I am definitely very excited to get my hands on this guy. I don't have the original Jiren, and that is a figure that I've always wanted. And so being able to have the full power version to have paired up with MUI is going to be very, very fun. So it'll be interesting to see what his price is as well, because obviously he is the same price as Trunks, which is kind of funny considering that he is such a bigger figure than Trunks. He's a lot more wide, right? Because obviously bro's got a lot more chest real estate, I guess would be the best way to put it, right? Now, I do want to mention for you, obviously these figures are Comic-Con exclusive. However, with bringing up Gohan here, right? This was something that they did last year for the convention exclusives, and they've done this many, many times in years past, where basically what they do is when the figures come out at the convention, either like during the time of the convention or a day after the convention, the figures that were the con exclusives will then be available to buy through Premium Bandai. So then you'll be able to actually pick these figures up yourself if you were not able to attend the convention, which is great because obviously most people are not. So it's nice to see that they have some way to accommodate that now, because in years past, it basically was like, well, you gotta buy the figure on eBay. So it's nice that there's actually some way for you to get it. So probably, right? I can't confirm this 100% because I legitimately don't know, but most likely these figures will all be available on Premium Bandai after the convention. So definitely keep your eyes peeled again for that date. Let's go back to that. The con is going to be the 25th through the 28th. So once again, definitely, right, keep your eyes peeled around that time and a couple days after to see if these figures go up on Premium Bandai if you are interested in them. Now, with that being said, right, obviously, once we make the Premium Bandai recap video and all that, I will also be covering this on the channel, so definitely don't worry about that. You will definitely know I will also be tweeting about this because, you know, whenever, like, Premium Bandai pre-order stuff, I always tweet about it on the Dokkan Assets account, so definitely keep your eyes on there as well. That is so funny, that picture. I swore that I knew that person was Brown Bakugo because I was like, I watch their videos all the time. Him and his, I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife, but either way though, yeah, that's kind of funny that they were on the list of people. But this is an awesome little page. I do hope that they update this for this year. Yeah, there he is. We gotta get the wifey in there. Yeah, there you go. Very cool Goku and Chi-Chi cosplay. It's so funny that he makes his hair like that. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on from SDCC for now. Let's actually go back real quick on the Insta Tamashi page, just because I wanted to show you two things that happened while I was not covering news. For one, in July, so obviously starting technically today, apparently, right, I'm not exactly sure how this works because I, you know, don't live in these cities. If somebody could grab me this figure, that would be awesome, because I think that this guy resells for a little bit of a pretty penny on eBay, right? But as you can see, oh right, because it's not Goku, it's the stand that they're talking about. They started selling these exclusive store stands, which are pretty cool. But it kind of stinks, bro. Sometimes I wish these figures just came with like cool stands like this. Sometimes they do this, right? But I know for like Demoniacal Fit with their base form Goku that they just released, they have a banger Goku stand that's just in there. It's like the Goku back logo. So either way, though, still pretty cool. Just wanted to make sure I covered that. And in terms of Tamashi store stuff, it's cool to see that in the Tamashi Nation's store in Osaka, they actually do have that super big Goku that is right there at the start. They also have, I believe that's actually Gundam. But yeah, this is the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku, and it's cool that they have a little picture of that. I'm trying to figure out what Goku this is. I can't tell. There's a Super Saiyan Goku that's in the glass case, like right there, but I can't tell what it is. I'm not sure if that's the... Let me give it one more look. Is he shirtless? This should be easy to tell. I can't really tell. I don't think he's shirtless. It's a little hard to tell. Somebody in the comments let me know if you can spot what it is. But either way, that's it for the Comic-Con exclusive stuff right now. Again, we'll get more information about all of this type of stuff when Comic-Con actually rolls around towards the end of the month. So definitely look forward to that. Once again, I am honestly really, really excited to get my hands on Jiren. That's easily the figure that I'm most excited about personally. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on here. So from one banger to the next, we now have a brand new Ichibang Coogi. That's right. We had the Dragon Ball Fantastic Adventure Coogi announced. I don't know if somebody at Bandai just decided to turn on the OG Dragon Ball faucet and just let it pour, but holy cow, we have been getting a lot of OG Dragon Ball related merch and Ichibang Coogis recently. Again, kind of makes sense because Daima, right, Kid Goku, so they're kind of trying to capture that nostalgia, and it is the perfect timing for me because I'm actually watching through trying to beat the fraud allegations. I'm kidding, I actually just want to watch the show, but I am watching through my first time actually watching through OG Dragon Ball because I never watched it as a kid. I only watched Z. So, I am actually just about to be on the final tournament arc with Piccolo Jr. So, they just started the prelims in the most recent episode that I watched. So, it's pretty cool that all this Dragon Ball related stuff is coming out because, man, they really know. Because before I was like, oh, you know, OG Dragon Ball stuff. I mean, it's cool. I'll grab a couple little things. But now I'm more excited for that than I am for stuff from Z. So, anyway, as you can see, the Fantastic Adventure Ichibang Coogi. I will admit, this is a bit of a strange one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to hold you. This is a little bit of a weird Ichibang Coogi because as you can see, there are only 3 figures, 2 of which being our regular full-sized figures. If we look at all of the prizes here, now obviously, and we don't have all the images for all the prizes, but prize A is this Goku and Bulma on the bike. Prize B is Bulma in front of the mirror, which is obviously the outro, right, of Dragon Ball. I don't know what the technical Japanese name of, but Romantic Yo, that song, right? The Bulma looking in the mirror is from that. And then Kid Goku, I forget what this is actually from. I think it might be another scene in the outro of OG Dragon Ball, if I'm not mistaken on that. You can let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Now, I will say some interesting things about this, right? So, again, prize A, prize B, we have Bulma and Goku on the bike for prize A, prize B being Bulma looking in the mirror, which is a lot smaller than these other 2 figures. And then the last one, prize, is Goku, like with the umbrella, right? So that's kind of interesting, but there's no other figures. So, as you can see, prize C, Capsule House Cushion, prize D, acrylic multi-stand, prize E, milk bottle glass, prize F, drawstring pouch, prize G, stationary assortment, prize F, rubber misc goods collection. I don't think that I have seen any images of any of this other stuff. To my knowledge, the only image that we actually have is of this. Let me actually see if I can find, just in case, if there is one. But one thing that is really strange about this Coogi, right? I know that Baggy was even saying this, and I kind of agree with him, to be honest. It kind of almost feels like that this Coogi was a little bit like thrown together at the last minute because there's only 2 major figures. And when we take a look at Goku in a second, you're going to see that my boy looks a little bit weird. Now, it does kind of look like how this original piece of art did from what I remember this being. So I guess it's not like too surprising, but it is still definitely like a little bit strange, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not seeing it on the Ichibang Coogi website, so let's just go ahead and take a look at it here on the Big Bad Toy Store. So unfortunately, we are not actually going to be getting this Bulma with the mirror because I guess they just decided that it wasn't worth it, or because it's so small. I'm not really sure why they decided not to give it to us, but that is the one figure out of the bunch that we are actually not going to be getting, unfortunately, which is kind of funny because I think it's arguably the one that I was looking forward to the most. So I may just have to import it to see if I can't get it. Again, it is going to be a lot smaller than the rest of this stuff, if I understand. Although, ironically enough, it does say 19 centimeters on the image, and the Bulma bike one says 12, and the Goku one says 13. But then again, we can never trust Bandai with these sizes. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figures here. So as you can see, price-wise, Bulma and Goku on the bike are going to be $59.99, and the Goku looking over his shoulder is going to be $44.99. Now, I actually do have some more HD pictures of these because for some reason, Big Bad Toys... Oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. Comment if you heard that. I really hope that didn't pick up in the mic, but I honestly think that it did. I'm so sorry. Regardless, though, I do have some more HD pictures for you because, unfortunately, Big Bad Toy Store butchers the quality of the images. I'm not really sure why, but here is some HD pictures of the figures. I gotta say, this thing looks really, really good, if I do say so myself. I'm kind of hoping that it's bigger than the size that they mentioned, because here, as you can see, it says it's 5.1 inches tall, which is funny that this is 13 centimeters, and I believe on here, yeah, it says 12, so, like I said, you literally cannot trust these sizes, bro. Bandai be wildin' in these streets, I swear. But I think that the figure looks really good. I'm definitely very, very excited to get my hands on this thing. I don't know if I'll pay the 60 bucks. I might wait a little bit because even though this is a cool figure, it's not something that I feel like I absolutely need. Like I said, I kind of would have rather had the Bulma looking in the mirror, to be honest with you, because it just feels like a little bit of a cooler thing. And we have had a couple of figures of this in the past. As well, we do have Goku with the little umbrella. Now, here's the thing about this figure, right? Here's the other angle of it, just from a little bit of another one. But it's weird because it's like, I'm so mixed on this figure because I feel like Goku's face looks a little strange. The colors I know might also weird some people out, but this is the outfit that he wore in this particular like scene or wherever this is taken from. Again, I'm pretty sure it was from that outro scene, you know, in the like ending song of Dragon Ball. He was wearing this color scheme, so that's not like really that weird. It's just taking from what the original source was. But I feel like his face looks a little bit off. I don't know if it's just because, again, they're referencing the source material, so that's why it looks like that, or if it's for some other reason. It almost kind of reminds me of like a doll, I guess would be like the best way to describe it, is kind of what it makes me think of. Rather than like a figure. I almost feel like this isn't a bad looking figure. I feel like just stylistically it's different than the usual Dragon Ball art style, I think is the best way to describe it. It feels like more of an artistic choice rather than a, you know, one that makes the figure impacted negatively, I guess would be the best way to say it. It kind of reminds me of like, I forget what not the nesting dolls, but like something like that, I guess, is kind of the style that it reminds me of. Almost like a wood carving type of thing. I don't know. I think you understand what I'm getting at here. I don't think it's a bad figure by any means, but I think it's just the type of thing where it's not necessarily something that I'm exactly super interested in. It's still very cute, don't get me wrong, right? But obviously, when it comes down to it, it's definitely an art style that I feel like just isn't really something that I'm like, oh my gosh, I need it, right? And obviously, at the $45 price tag for this being a 5.5 inch figure, it is definitely a little bit on the expensive side for sure. So definitely let me know what you think about this figure and this Ichibang Coogi as a whole, because I do think it is a rather strange one that they're only giving us 2 figures for this particular set, which is really, really interesting. So yeah, by the way, this is going to be the October Ichibang Coogi. I just wanted to mention that just in case I didn't. Now, there is a couple of things about Ichibang Coogi that I actually did want to mention, right? First of all, about this Ichibang Coogi specifically, I'm sure that some of you may have thought, oh, this is kind of like the real McCoy figure that we got a little while ago. And it definitely looks pretty similar. This is obviously the new Kuji Goku, and then this is the real McCoy desktop figure, right? If we take a look at them side by side, you can see that Goku's face has definitely been improved. Oh my gosh. My man has seen some man-made horrors beyond his comprehension in the real McCoy figure. What were they cooking, bro? I think the Bulma's face also does look a little bit better. It just kind of looks a little bit more like full, I guess. I don't really know how to describe it exactly, but I think it just definitely looks a little bit better. The bike basically, like, you know, again, very, very similar. There are, of course, some slight differences that you could definitely pick out. And obviously, when it comes down to the colors and stuff on it as well, like the number on the 9 and just in general, right, some of the lights and stuff, obviously slightly different shades and whatnot. It kind of makes sense that, of course, this would be a comparison that we would make because these are, of course, 2 very similar figures. But I definitely think that for my money, I think the sculpt on the Ichibang Coogi one definitely looks a little bit better. I also like that it's like a little bit more clear on the plastic because this one kind of looks a little bit like dull or like murky almost on like how the, you know, quote-unquote glass would look. I guess while we're talking about Ichibang Coogi, I guess let's go ahead and just talk about these couple of things that I have for Ichibang Coogi stuff before we move on to our prize figure shenanigans for later. So we have very, very interesting news here. Actually, before we talk about that, I know I'm literally going to tease you. I'm sorry. I did want to mention these quick little Ichibang Coogi things here. For one, if you guys remember us talking about this Dragon Ball Ichibang Coogi, the one with Korin, I think this is the one where we thought we were going to get Mr. Popo, if I'm not mistaken. Apparently, this Dragon Ball for July Ichibang Coogi has 6,835 participating stores. Prize DD Model Shinron and the LO are expected to have a high market value. So if you are planning on importing these figures, definitely keep your eyes peeled. And again, it's always important to wait a little bit when it comes to buying stuff from Japan for Ichibang Coogis, because it's always cheaper if you just give it a little while before, you know, the final you know, like actual like price kind of comes down. It might not even ever be like a final price, because obviously it sort of fluctuates like that. But I digress, right? I would always recommend waiting just a little bit to see if you can get the figures for cheaper before jumping in. And this was also something interesting that Baggy pointed out. Lawson, aka one of the places where you could buy the Ichibang Coogi stuff, like go in there and actually do the lottery, or the raffle, I guess I should say. Basically, you know, like an American equivalent to like 7-Eleven in layman's terms. One of the distributors for the October Kuji, right, the one that we just talked about, the Fantastic Adventure one, and their third Dragon Ball Kuji of the year. Therefore, it's very unlikely that there will be a Dragon Ball Heroes Kuji this year. Family Mart did the first DBH one, but Lawson handled every subsequent one, right? And it kind of makes sense, because obviously with Dragon Ball Heroes ending midway through this year, it would be kind of strange if we got one more Ichibang Coogi, even though I think it would have been a really cool way for the series to kind of go out with a bang, right? The series will be over by the time November happens, which is always when the Ichibang Coogi occurs for SDBH. So it would be a little bit weird if they did do one more Ichibang Coogi, considering Divers will be out by that time, which is what is taking over the Dragon Ball Heroes name. It will be interesting to see if we get a Dragon Ball Divers Ichibang Coogi, but again, we don't know if they're going to be doing original stuff like they did for Dragon Ball Heroes. Also, I will say, this does mean good things on a technicality for Heroes fans, because even though Heroes is now ending, this does mean that these figures should now be getting a little bit cheaper to come by, because obviously people will be wanting to get rid of them, and with there being no more stuff to kind of, you know, make the Heroes hype keep going, I would think that the price of these figures would probably go down a little bit. So if you are interested in some of these figures, definitely keep your eyes peeled on Japanese sites and even eBay. I know there's still a ton of figures that I would like to pick up. Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku being one of them, right? The Dark Broly, the Bardock, which is, I forget, Crimson, no, Warrior in Black, that's his name. I could not think of the technical title of him. The Super Saiyan 3 Rose figures, I also don't have either of those. So definitely some cool stuff that I would absolutely love to pick up. By the way, I'm talking about the original Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Goku, not the one that came with Vegeta, the one that came with Vegito. But anyway, moving on past that, this was also some good news for Ichibang Coogi stuff, and I wanted to make sure that I included this in here, because obviously we've been talking about this particular Goku. I swear, like every video we have mentioned this man, because people really want this figure, and the shenanigans around him have been kind of insane. But obviously, if you are unaware, this is a last one prize figure from an Ichibang Coogi that the US was originally not going to get, but interestingly enough, Baggy mentions here that Bandai have made the April Anya Coogi available for Ichiban show release, which apparently was not going to be available. This is also, I will say, the framing of this figure is really weird. Why is Anya not in the center? Kind of strange, if I'm being honest with you, but it's still cute. Regardless, though, so they may very well be able to make the April Dragon Ball LO available by July 15th. Yeah, so we'll have to see. If anything comes up within the next couple of weeks, I'll definitely keep you guys posted on this, because obviously, you know, If one figure can be listed that originally wasn't listed for the US, then hopefully that means that another one can be too. It is the LO compared to a prize A, but I think it still gives you a little bit more hope than there being absolutely no hope that we're not going to get this guy, right? So here's to hoping that we do actually end up getting this figure. Now, let me go back to the original thing I was going to say about Ichibang Coogi, and then we will move on with the next figure-related stuff. So this is actually pretty big news, and unfortunately, it's like super big news, but also something that I like almost have nothing to show you for it, which is really weird. So Baggy on June 22nd tweeted that he has Daima Kuji info. Obviously, that will be posted in 10 minutes. And here is the information from Japan. So this is going to be a November Ichibang Coogi, and all of the characters are not revealed, right? So basically, what they have for this is that it's essentially just Prize A, Prize B, and C are 2 figures in one. Prize D and E are only 1 figure in each, and 19 centimeters at that, which is pretty big considering that we just talked about those other figures from the OG Dragon Ball Kuji, and they were like 12 to 13 centimeters. And as you can see, apparently the LO is 30 centimeters, which is very, very big. So it will be very interesting to see what this actually ends up being in terms of the character choices for Dragon Ball Daima. I think Baggy's guess is definitely pretty good here. I'd imagine that Prize A will be Goku and Vegeta. Prize B will be Piccolo and Gohan, and then Prize C, it could be a bunch of different things, right? He mentions there maybe Videl and Pan, Bulma and Bra, right? 18 and Marin. Maybe it could even be Pan and Bra, right? Because obviously it's like the 2 little babies. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. Prize D and E could definitely be adult Goku and Vegeta, and maybe the LO would be Shinron. That would make sense, because if it's going to be that big of a figure, it makes sense that it would be a kind of like giant character or one of the like monster Ichibang Coogi characters. So definitely Shinron would make sense for that size. So it'll be really interesting to see when we actually get the proper images for these, what it will be. But it is awesome to see that we are actually going to be getting some proper Dragon Ball Daima merch, because I know that they haven't really announced too much stuff on it up until now. So it's good to see that they actually have some stuff in the books. Even Baggy mentions here, right? Technically, the only Daima merch 100% confirmed is the Dragon Stars one, which is kind of funny. But stationary listings removed, tentative Kujis with 2 figures in one, half of the December prize schedule moved to November, uncategorized figure listing in October, wafer stickers not fully revealed. Things are brewing. Yeah, absolutely. It seems like, you know, we were kind of assuming that Daima was going to be like October, November type of time. And so this would definitely all kind of align with all this different stuff going on, that this would end up being, you know, some Daima stuff. So definitely keep your eyes peeled. Again, I will most certainly keep y'all posted when we get that, because I'm personally very excited for Dragon Ball Daima. And again, this was kind of what I was talking about with the LO for the Daima Kuji, right? Shinron makes sense for the 30 centimeter figure, since the superhero had an LO Shinron too, plus the last year of the dragon as well. Hopefully it is both for US and Europe. Yeah, I definitely know I missed like every single Shinron. I think the only one I got was like a prize figure one. And I've definitely wanted some of the Ichibang Coogi ones. But yeah, it would definitely make sense if it was a Shinron figure. Obviously not this one exactly, but regardless though, yeah, definitely looking forward to that information, absolutely. Let's go ahead and go back now to the DBZFigures.com website. This is kind of an interesting piece of merch here. We have the Dragon Ball date stamps and desktop storage box. Yeah, I guess if you're interested in this sort of thing, this is something you will be able to get. I'm assuming that this is coming out only in Japan, because I think this is definitely more of like a Japanese styled item, I think, with what people in Japan kind of like use, because like we here in the States like just kind of don't really send letters that often, you know, or like kind of just slap a sticker stamp on it, you know. So either way, always cool to see all these different types of Dragon Ball merch. For Dragon Ball Weekly News for the 17th, we didn't have, I believe, anything when it came to figures, unfortunately, for this particular one. Besides the fact that the release of the Banpresso Crane figures as well as the Dragon Ball Superhero Tournament. Yeah, so they were just talking about, I believe, let's see, so they showed a bunch of sparking stuff. Yeah, they just showed basically that these guys are actually releasing, which is funny that they talked about it in the previous one, but now they actually came out. So anyhow, moving back from that, oh yeah, that DBS, the Big Bad Toy Store Championship matchup. If you guys remember, they have a little video for this if you'd like to go and check this out on the DBZFigures.com website. I know we talked about this in a previous video, so I figured I'd just follow up on it a little bit, where they're having like a tournament for a bunch of different figures on the website. Also, I apologize if you can hear that. There's people blowing leaves outside my house. Anyway, Namekian Dragon Ball Bug carrier. You guys, you just heard me say 5 seconds ago that I'm a big fan of unique Dragon Ball merch. And by golly, if this ain't a unique piece of Dragon Ball merch, I don't know what is. This is literally for catching bugs. Kind of cool. I don't know why it's particularly the Namekian 4-star Dragon Ball. Maybe it's just so they could slap the Dragon Ball Z logo on it. But yeah, pretty cool. Comes with an attached shoulder strap. Window can be open without letting the bugs escape, so you can see the bugs inside. Slide the lever on top to open the whole thing up, and it's round, but it won't roll away when placed on a flat surface. Pretty cool. I mean, for a kid, right, I think this type of thing would be awesome if you're somebody who goes out into nature and catches bugs. Do kids go outside and catch bugs anymore? Am I old? Regardless, though, I think this is still a really cool item. As somebody, as a kid, I don't think I've actually ever told this story anywhere on YouTube. I used to have praying mantises as a kid. I had them in this little, like, bug container thing. Like, I got the eggs in the mail or whatever it would be, the pods that had all the little praying mantises. And then, all of them obviously, like, came out and then were, like, made the enclosure their home. So this kind of hits home a little bit. Obviously, it's a little bit different because you're catching wild bugs rather than getting mailed some. But I digress. Still a very, very cool item. I always love these little unique items. We do have another piece of merch in this one, though. Look, look at these goofy boys right here, bro. Very, very interesting. So, in terms of figures and stuff, yeah, the Rock and Roll Daruma Mascots Volume 2 featuring Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Super Saiyan Goku, Frieza, and Majin Buu. Those are very, very funny, these little keychain things. They're a good size and have good detail. Unfortunately, there are no US sellers selling them yet. Yeah. Also, apparently, there was one only news, the Jump Shot 20th Festival in... Oh, boy, I'm going to butcher this so hard. I'm so sorry. Ikebukuro, I think is how you say that, from June 27th to July 27th, featuring some Dragon Ball special goods. So if you do live in Japan, there you go. Yeah, wow, these things are actually really big. Let's take a look at these in the video since V-Jumpman is holding them up for us here. These things are quite large. I didn't expect them to be this big. Look at that in his hand. Wait, that's crazy. Interesting. That's super cool. Well, again, probably not something that I'm particularly interested in terms of, like, the, chibi aesthetic. But it is kind of cute, though. If this is something that you're into and you want this as, like, a little backpack hanger or something, definitely the item for you. Now, we're finally here on the first page. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these stuff that dropped. Oh, boy, I have been waiting to take a look at this. So... this was an announcement that came out of nowhere. I swear, I really need to look into Premium Bandai's announcements more to see if there's a pattern to how they announce this stuff. Because I swear, Premium Bandai will just be like, yup, here's a brand new figure out of nowhere, enjoy. And it always just feels like it's kind of out of left field. But with that being said, here we have the Vegeta older style battle clothes. Now, why they exactly named it this, I don't really know. I don't know why they didn't just call it Namek Vegeta, because it seems a little bit silly that that's not what they would just call it. Maybe it's because, let's see, if we search Vegeta, right, I believe, yeah, so obviously I know people have been talking about this Vegeta. I think this guy actually just got shipped recently, if I remember correctly. Yeah, June. I've been seeing a couple YouTube videos pop up about this guy. So this is obviously supposed to be like Saiyan Saga Vegeta, and I believe also the beginning of Namek Vegeta, because he still has the shoulder pads, if I'm remembering that correctly. I could be a little bit fuzzy. I haven't watched the Namek Saga in a while. But either way, though, obviously later on in the Namek Saga, he ends up getting the shoulderless pads, right? Where he ends up looking like this, right? Which I think is a lot of people's actually like fan favorite look, or one of fan favorite looks for Vegeta. I know I personally actually really like this fit for the character. So it's really cool that we're getting an outfit for him. And I know that this particular outfit for Vegeta has like no figures whatsoever. It's kind of funny that he has like no figures, because this is such an iconic scene, especially considering the fact that, you know, this is like when Goku sees Vegeta die, this is in the outfit that he's in. So like, it's so surprising to me that there's not that many figures. In fact, I'm gonna pull this up for you here. A friend of mine, Miss DBZ Babe, or Bay, because I know her Twitter has gotten like goofed on a bunch of times. She, I know, has been somebody who, she's a big Vegeta fan, but she has collected, at least as far as I know, every single piece of Vegeta merch where he's in this outfit. And oh my gosh, look at this. So obviously these are all older figures. I think the newest thing here is actually the little Vegeta in front, because funny enough, I saw that Gashapon recently myself, like in person. So these are obviously like high grade figures and stuff like that, right? Some old Vegeta figures, but yeah, there's basically no merch of this outfit of Vegeta. So it's really cool to see that he is getting a SH Figuarts figure proper. Let's go ahead and take a look at him here in more detail. So we do have the standard face, which I actually think looks pretty good. This is awesome. Obviously, this is at the end, when I believe this is right when they get transported back to Earth. After they use the Dragon Balls and Vegeta's sitting against the tree and then Bulma comes up to him. That is super cool. I'm sure that someone's also going to use this faceplate to make some kind of Ultra Instinct Vegeta as well. I would definitely not be surprised. But either way, still really cool that it's included. You obviously have this here, right, where you have the open mouth, which I think actually looks really good. Of course, they had to include the sweating and crying face. I'm so glad that they did, bro. It's gonna be so funny if you actually display him this way. But I'm really glad that they included it, because obviously it's super iconic. I mean, even if we look back here, you can see the two of the pieces of merch are when he's sweating and crying here. So pretty cool that they included that faceplate. And then here we just have some shots of him fighting some other characters. We have him when he's taking out the Ginyu Force, and then we have him fighting First Form Frieza, which I swear we didn't see, unless this is the sweating. No, this is a different face where he's angry here. Interesting. Yeah, so I think that that's a total of what? This face I think looks really good. It is kind of weird though that it looks like his head protrudes a little bit out from the neck. But either way, one faceplate, 2, 3, 4, and then I guess this would be 5. Yeah, these are definitely different. You can tell by the shape of the eyes. Interesting. That's quite a few faceplates, honestly, because I think this one is just this one. Yeah. So, is there any, no, there's no, like, more expanded production images for this guy, unfortunately. But, as you can see, this guy is available for pre-order right now, and he will be coming out in February of next year. This is absolutely a figure that I'm going to get. I love this outfit for Vegeta, personally, and I am really excited about this. I'm not gonna lie, like, I think this has been the only premium Bandai figure in a while that I have not kind of like teetered on the edge of if I'm going to get it or if I don't, which I know we're going to talk about in a second. But Super 17, I didn't even end up getting him because I missed the pre-order by 1 day. I sat down at my computer and I thought that the pre-order ended at 10 p.m. It ended at 10 a.m. Unfortunate. So I'll just have to get him secondhand if I really want to get him. But less money spent, I guess, at the end of the day, right? But this is a figure that I need, right? I really like this outfit for Vegeta. I will say, the one thing that is really interesting about this figure, I will admit, is that his arms do look a little strange. I'm gonna wonder how this will actually look on the final figure, because here, his arms look extremely buff. And I don't think he looked this buff at this particular point. If I'm, you know, memory serving, I swear his arms were not jacked like this. Like, this almost is approaching on, like, Super Saiyan Goku jacked arms here, right? Like, I feel like this is definitely a little much. However, what's interesting is if you look at the crossed arm piece, which obviously this is a different piece than the one of, you know, the arms that we were just looking at, his arms are a lot more skinny, right? And maybe it's just because they didn't want to make his buff arms for the cross arm piece, but they look a lot more like they should here. In fact, they almost look a little bit too small. Like, I feel like they should be a little bit bigger compared to how his armor is. Like, it almost makes his armor look a little bit too big on his body, but I digress. The arms here kind of look good for that angle, but I will say here, they almost look a little, like, too long. Like, I swear his arms look too long for his body. They don't look as much like that here in these different poses, though his arms, like, don't look, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell, right? Like, when they're posed up, you don't really see it as much, but when he's in just, like, a standard pose like this, you can kind of see it a little bit more. His arms look really lanky, like they almost reach down to his knees, but then again, he is crunched a little bit, so I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see when this figure comes out. I know for sure that I will be picking this guy up. I have not actually picked up a lot of the Namek figures, but I really, really like this look for Vegeta, and not to mention, I would love to do like a what if Super Saiyan Vegeta, right, where I put the Super Saiyan Vegeta head on that figure, and I kind of want the base form head for the armor body, like the standard Vegeta armor, to be honest. I might do a little bit of mixing and matching there, but the one other thing that I will note that's kind of interesting, right, so let's take a look at the accessories here, right? So we have the main body, we have exchangeable hand, left and right parts, 3 types, 4 different face types, and I know we said 5, but again, keep in mind, they don't count the one that comes on the figure. And then we have the exchangeable battle clothes part set and the foldable arms. So what's going to be really interesting about this, right? So I think that the hands will basically be, the fist will come on the figure. You have the open palm hands, right? And then you'll have the, like, kind of like crunched finger hands, right? You have the karate chopping hands. And I'm not really sure what the other one... Wait, did they say 3 sets? They did. Okay, so that makes sense, right? So the fists will be standard on the figure. They'll have the open palm hands, and then they'll have the, like, crunched hands like this, right? And then they'll have the karate chop hands. So what I think is going to be really interesting, right? Obviously, besides the crossed arm piece, the other thing that will be present on this figure, right? I know it's kind of funny because they don't really do a good job of showing it not being there. But you can kind of tell right there. There's going to be an alternate piece for the armor for it being broken, right? It's not broken all the time. Like, even if you look here, you can tell that the break in the armor is not there, even though Vegeta's hand is covering it. So it's going to be really interesting. Are they just going to give you a whole nother torso just to do this? Because not only is the armor broken on his stomach where you can see his abs, but even the top of the chest piece has some cracks in it. I'm almost wondering if that's why the arms are made the way they are, because it's kind of making me wonder if you're going to have to, like, take out the arms to put these pieces on the figure. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see how he assembles. But again, this figure is a $60 figure, so keep in mind with Premium Bandai shipping and with tax, it's going to then end up being an $80 figure. Again, I always think that Premium Bandai stuff is overpriced. That's just kind of the way that it is what it is at this point. I think I've gone through the stages of grief and come to terms with it, even though I still don't like it. But with that being said, I will say, at least they do throw in a couple of cool accessories, because they definitely could have just not included this whole battle damage thing, and I feel like that aspect of it at least makes, you know, for me, the price feel a little bit more worth it. It's certainly not the price that they're charging, but I think at least it's a little bit more bang for your buck. So definitely let me know what you think of this Vegeta. I am very, very excited to get my hands on this figure personally. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Moving on from that, so talking about the boy Super 17 himself, yes, indeedy do. This guy is now down for pre-order. Like I said, I thought that this was 10:59 a.m. or I thought this was 10:59 p.m. No, this is 10:59 a.m. unfortunately. I sat down at my computer thinking that I was going to pre-order them on the last day, and then I did not get my pre-order in, unfortunately. So, you know, I guess it is what it is. If I really want to get him in the future, I'll just have to pay a little bit extra for him or figure out something else to be able to get him at some point. But pre-orders are now unavailable for this guy, so if you did want to get him, you're going to have to wait until he is available on the aftermarket. I will say, maybe Big Bad Toy Store might have him, but with Big Bad Toy Store, they always charge quite a bit. This is not what I'm looking for. Super 17 Dragon Ball, silly. When it comes to the premium Bandai figures, actually, you know what? Well, okay, no, that's still 20 bucks more than it would be, because again, with this and again the shipping and the tax, it would end up being 105. So you're paying 20 extra bucks if you are going to get them on a premium Bandai. However, I do think, okay, no, it is still December 2024. I was gonna say maybe you'd get them a little bit early, but yeah. So you're gonna have to pay 20 bucks extra basically if you want them, or I'm sure once again there are probably some other sites that you could look. But again, I just had Big Bad Toy Store pulled up, so I don't know, maybe I'll just get them from Big Bad Toy Store and bite the bullet and pay the extra 20 bucks, but let me know what you think I should do in the comment section below, I suppose. Regardless though, so this was really interesting. This is something that I really wanted to point out. I don't know if a lot of people know about this. I've been tweeting and retweeting about this like an absolute buffoon. Superhero now in 2024, not when the movie came out, when, you know, Funko Pops being on the shelf for this movie would have absolutely helped it cook. I'm not salty. We are now getting superhero Funko Pops. That's right. Gamma 1 and 2 are now available for pre-order. You can get these guys here as well. You can also get them on Amazon. I know I already pre-ordered these two on Amazon. And not only that, but they are coming out with a full superhero set, which is really cool. As you can see, the Gammas are going to be in there. There's going to be a standard Gohan Beast figure that's going to come with a little bit of power-up effect on it. There's going to be an Orange Piccolo and a Cell Max. As well, as far as I am aware, let's go ahead and take a look at this on this other page, that I have pulled up here. So obviously the Gammas are going to be there. And interestingly enough, I have not seen a normal pre-order go up for the regular Gohan Beast. However, as you can see here, there is already a special version of Gohan Beast where he is doing the special beam cannon. And this figure is a Funko Shop exclusive, which basically means that you have to buy this guy from the Funko Shop. You cannot buy this guy anywhere else. This is the only place that you can get this specific variation of the figure. If you just want a Gohan Beast Funko Pop, again, there is going to be the normal one that is going to be in the full set. But if you want the special Beam Cannon one, you're gonna have to get it from the Funko Shop. Again, I'll leave all these links in the description below. As well, this is really interesting. So, I'll talk about Cell Max in 1 second, because there is something that I do want to mention about him. Although I will admit, oh boy, I'm a little bit disappointed to report this news, to be honest with you. So, Obviously, there is a normal orange Piccolo, right, that is going to be in this set. Let's actually go back to that picture on the Big Bad Toy Store. You can see that what's really interesting about this is that the normal orange Piccolo is actually going to be the one where he's squaring up. Let me actually here. I'll put this picture up for you because you can get a little bit of a better look at it. You can see here that it is the battle damaged, right, orange Piccolo when he's squaring up with Cell Max, right, which is really, really interesting that that's the one that they decided to make the standard one. Now, what is really interesting about this is that if we go back to that page, orange Piccolo with the regular gi, right, non-torn, is going to be an exclusive to this website, which is basically Chalice Collectibles. Now, I know it's ironic because I do collect some Funko Pops. It's basically just, if there's one that I like, mostly Dragon Ball, I'll pick it up. Or if there's some characters that I'm like, yeah, I just kind of want a cheap figure to have on the shelf, I'll just grab a Funko Pop version of it because it's just kind of the easiest thing available. I know my favorite game is Portal 2, and there are like 3 shell figures that exist. So when I walked into GameStop one day and saw a shell figure on the shelf, you bet your buns I picked that bad boy up. So if you want this particular variation of Orange Piccolo, and going back, as you can see, there is also this Gohan where he is in base form with the glasses and the cape, as well as there is a Super Saiyan version of Gohan in the cape, right? As you can see, if we go back to here, or did I have that tab pulled up? Oh no, I'm losing my tabs, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. If we go back to here, you can see in the standard set that Gohan is not there. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how Funko works, basically the way that they do it is that in every set that they release for a particular thing, they have like the standard releases, which will be these, the ones in the back of the box. And then they always have like basically quote unquote secret figures, which are like the ones that are exclusives to different stores and stuff like that, which is basically what this Orange Piccolo, Gohan Beast, and Base Form and Super Saiyan Gohan are. Now, I'm sure you're probably noticing that there is a little bit of a sticker on this powered up version of Orange Piccolo, as well as the Super Saiyan version of the Gohan figure. That is because those are chase figures. And if you're unaware with how chase figures work, basically when an actual case of these figures are sent to a store, they are sent a bunch of the normal figures and they're sent one chase. So normally you would then walk into a store and try and find the chase. However, this store where the merch is apparently exclusive to, right, what you can do if you want the chase variation of the Gohan and Piccolo, right, is that I don't know why these prices are so weird. I'm promising you, I talked to a buddy of mine. I sound like Rick from Pawn Stars right now. I called in a buddy of mine to ask some questions about this because I've never really been one to like chase, chase versions of Funkos or anything like that, right? I have like a couple of exclusives and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy where you need to do all these like special shenanigans seemingly to get your hands on these figures. This is the only place that you can get these, and for some reason, I think it's just because they're sold out. Oh no, they are here. If you just want the regular version of Gohan in the cape, right, or Orange Piccolo, you can buy that for 15 bucks from this website. You can just buy it right now and it won't be the chase one. I think that there's not even a chance for it to be the chase one. So if you're just interested in the standard Orange Piccolo exclusive, right, and the standard Gohan exclusive, then bam, that's what you can do. You can just buy them from this website for 15 bucks a pop. As well, obviously, again, the Gohan Beast will be a regular release and the Orange Piccolo will be a regular release. So if you just want those two, you can also just do that. But if you're interested, those single ones are there. However, if you want the chase, This is what's kind of weird about this. So we're going to use both of these guys as an example here. We have Orange Piccolo, where you can pay 68 bucks to get one copy of the standard figure and one copy of the chase. In this case, this is a glow chase. That is why the sticker is black. And then for this one, you have the limited edition chase, which is, you know, it doesn't glow in the dark. And that's why the sticker is yellow. So if you just want one of each, you can pay 68 bucks and get that. However, I'm sure you probably noticed that this seems a little bit strange, and I don't know why the pricing is this way. My buddy, who is an expert on Funko stuff, didn't know either. But for only, what would that be, 22, right? More dollars? You can get a full case, right? Which will be 6 total Orange Piccolos, 5 of which being the standard one, and 1 of which being the chase. Same thing for Gohan for a total of 90 bucks for each of these sets. Now, I feel like this is kind of a ripoff low-key, because it's like, it kind of feels like what they're doing is, I don't know if price gouging is the correct term. You can tell me in the comments. I don't remember my exact terminology on that, but it really feels like that they have the price of just the chase and the regular ones so high, so then it forces you to pay a little bit more to buy the full case, right? That kind of seems like the business practice that they're doing here, unfortunately. But it is certainly more value, with that being the case, for you to just buy the case and then just sell the extra Orange Piccolo figures and just keep the, you know, chase and the regular one if that's what you're into. So again, links will be available to all of this stuff in the comment section below. I have already pre-ordered these because I really want this. I don't collect Funko sets like that. I think the only Funko set that I've ever tried to collect to completion, even the exclusives, was the OG Full Metal Alchemist set, because that set was relatively small even with the exclusives. I don't even know if I have them all, to be honest with you. And now I know that there's a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood set that has like a bunch more characters in it too. But Superhero is definitely going to be the one Funko set that I want to complete. I want to get every single exclusive, all of it, because you guys know I love Superhero. So, as far as I'm aware, that is everything in terms of releases that we know. Excuse me, I'm stuttering over my words here. I'm so excited. That is everything that we know to my knowledge about how all of this stuff is going to work. The only thing that I did want to mention, I unfortunately can't find the tweet. I don't know why I can't find it at the moment, but I did hear at one point, somebody mentioned, it was one of these Funko news sites, that apparently the Cell Max that is going to be in the regular set, right, is going to be a giant Funko. If you are unaware of how this works, basically there is like regular size Funko Pops, which I'm sure you've probably seen in every store in existence by this point, and there's giant ones that are like 10-inch to a foot tall, that are basically, you know, essentially just that. They're big, you know, Funko Pops. And I do have a couple of them. I actually collected the OG Pokemon starters because I thought that those were the only ones that they were going to reveal, and then they made like a million more. But I don't remember where I saw the information for this, so I really apologize that I don't have a link for you for it. Again, I'm not as well versed on the Funko shenanigans, so I'm doing my best to give you the information that I've been able to find and give you. But I know I saw somewhere somebody talk about that the Cell Max is going to be a giant figure, where it will be like the 10-inch or the foot-tall figure. So it's going to be definitely more expensive, because obviously since it's so much bigger, it's going to be a lot more expensive than the like standard releases. But it is really cool that he's going to be a giant figure, because obviously Cell Max is giant. So low-key, the Funko display about to go crazy with the superhero figures. And funny enough, I think that may actually end up then being the cheapest Cell Max figure on the market, because the only other one is what, the Dragon Ball Adverge one. That might actually be technically cheaper, and the Ichibang Coogi one. Regardless, though, that's all I got for you on the superhero Funko side of things. I wanted to make you aware of this because I feel like besides the Funko people, I'm the only Dragon Ball person talking about this. Maybe Slow has talked about it a little bit. I think he tweeted about it. But regardless, yeah, I'll keep you posted on this. Normally, I don't really cover Funko stuff, even for Dragon Ball. Like, I kind of just, like, show you that the set is coming out sometimes. But I feel like since there's all these exclusives, and I'm such a superhero fan, and, you know, listen, bro, I can cover the content that I want on my own channel, you know what I'm saying, baby? This is something that I'm going to continue to cover. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed that. Now, let's move on to our final-ish segment that we have on DBZFigures.com before we get to the final stuff that we're going to talk about for Insta Tamashi and for third-party stuff. So, for Dragon Ball Dragon Ball Weekly News for the first, which was at least today at the time of this recording. Obviously, this video I think will be going up tomorrow. They did not talk about too much stuff when it comes to figures. However, again, the 6th is when this Temple in the Clouds Ichibang Coogi is going to be coming out. So we will definitely, by next week's episode as well, have some final pictures from that Ichibang Coogi from people in Japan getting it. So definitely look forward to that. Again, also the 20th anniversary Jump pop-up shop in Ikebukuro. I really hope I'm saying that right. Is obviously still available. And then they had the funny guy from Dragon Ball Heroes. I always just call this guy Buff Guy because I don't know his actual name, and I've seen him on so many of the Dragon Ball Heroes live streams. I hope this guy still has a job after Heroes closes. I hope they move him to Divers because I really like that guy. Anyway, moving past that, we have the final thing for right now. So this is not anything new. We've seen all these figures time and time again for pre-orders, but right here we had the prize figures for December go up. And ladies and gentlemen, there is some very exciting stuff in here. So I'm sure you guys remember me talking a little bit about some of the figures that were on the calendar that are a part of this list. Look at all of these bad boys that we have to take a look at. Let's go ahead and take a look at everything. I think we're going to take a look at JANEMBA and GOGETA first, because that's the things that I think I was personally the most excited for out of this batch. So let's take a look at the big bad man himself, JANEMBA, first. If you guys remember, once again, we were talking about this figure, I swear, for like months, because JANEMBA has like, what, 2 figures, I think? He has like the Ichibang Coogi one, and then he has a Dragon Stars one. I don't think that there's a proper prize figure for JANEMBA besides this one that will be coming out. So very, very cool. Obviously, the colors are really muted. Again, when it comes to these prize figure images, like, look at the difference between this, bro. You can never trust the colors on this. Regardless, though, so obviously this set, right, is going to be Gogeta versus JANEMBA, which is really, really cool, right? Let's go to the Gogeta picture, actually, so we can get a little bit of comparison. Yeah, so this is the Gogeta figure. Again, the colors are washed out, so don't trust the colors in the images here. But this is a figure that has gotten this pose quite a few times. Even myself, I literally have 2 Angel Gogeta figures on the shelf right now in this almost exact same pose. One of them, he's just pointing, but the other one, it's the same pose. It's the Dragon Ball Legends version of this figure. However, that one does have a little bit of a stand, and this one's feet are flat. But I do think that this figure will definitely be a little bit easier to find, and obviously in terms of the size, this will compare a lot better to JANEMBA. I will say the pants do kind of feel a little bit flat on the sculpt, but I actually really like the top half up. I think that his muscle definition is sculpted really well. I actually quite like the face on this figure, I'm not gonna lie. But what's really cool about this is that obviously for JANEMBA himself, they actually added the battle damage. If you guys remember, in this particular fight, when Gogeta is beating up JANEMBA before he obviously throws the final Stardust Breaker to be able to defeat JANEMBA, he kind of puts these dents on JANEMBA's chest when he's doing damage to him after he fuses. So it's really cool that they actually implemented this battle damage onto JANEMBA's skin, or what I assume is JANEMBA's skin. I don't actually know if the purple stuff is his skin or if the red stuff is skin, and that's just armor that grew on him. I don't understand JANEMBA genetics, bro. But either way, This is still really, really cool that they even bothered to implement the battle damage in the first place. And the other cool thing is, I know it's a little bit hard to see, but you can actually see that they made his eyes bloodshot. If you look there, I know it's a little bit of a blurry image, but that is super cool that they actually have his eyes like that, because he has this super intense look in the movie when he's trying to fight back against Gogeta, because obviously bro is getting straight cooked. So it's really cool to see that they actually implemented this onto the figure. I am really, really excited to actually get my hands on this thing. I'm not going to lie to you. So yeah, that is Janemba. Obviously, again, all these figures are going to be $26.99 because that's the standard price figure price at this point. These guys are also coming out in December, by the way, so definitely look forward to that. Yeah, this, if you're a fan of Gogeta, like, I feel like this is a must-have in terms of a pair of figures. I know for me, I will definitely be picking up Janemba. I would be more inclined to pick up Gogeta, but again, I already have 2 Gogeta figures in this pose, and I know by technicality this one would be better to get because it would be more of a better size comparison, but I don't know, I just don't want to get another figure of the same pose because I've done that too many times. We have the Android 16 from Solid Edgeworks. Now, if you guys remember, we have been looking through these Android figures in the Solid Edgeworks line for a fat minute now, where they released last time an Android 16, an Android 17, and an Android 18, right? Let's go back. Can we sort this by new? New and popular, yeah. So these two, right, that were from, I believe, the Kaizuben. I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation on that, but the red Dragon Ball manga cover, right? And so they have the 18, the 17, and now they have actually given us the 16. And Android 16 looks fantastic, if I do say so myself. I don't think I really have any complaints at how this figure looks. He looks really good. I'm definitely pretty impressed with the sculpt, if I do say so myself. So if you're an Android 16 fan, or you're a fan of the Androids, this is definitely a good figure for you, I would say. We also have Goku Black, and this is a Clear Eyes Goku Black. That's why, funny enough, the colors look even more muted than they would, even, you know, despite the fact that obviously you can see the colors a little bit more accurate here, and they're even more muted on these images. But Clear Eyes Goku Black, and also a rosé version of the figure. Now, I will say, the rosé version is a little bit of a toss-up for me, because I like the angle, and I like what they're going for, but the problem is, if you're looking at this figure from almost anywhere but the bottom, right here maybe it looks okay. But if you're looking at him from this side, it's going to look a little bit weird because of the angle, right? His head may look a little bit strange. I do think that this is still a cool looking figure though. Again, I really want to open a Clear Eyes figure. I think I actually do have one in my closet. I just haven't opened one, though I will be opening the Clear Eyes Beast soon because he comes out in July. But I don't think that these are bad options if you're a fan of Goku Black and you're looking for a pretty cool Goku Black figure. I don't think that these are too bad of pickups, to be 100% honest with you. I think for me personally, I would probably recommend the Rosé one, because I think the best base form Goku Black for my money is still the Dragon Ball Legends one. That one is my favorite. But I think for Rosé, right, there are also really good Rosé figures out there that I would still recommend, but I don't think that this is a bad one if you're just looking, hello Janemba, for a Rosé figure to have on the shelf. So definitely some pretty cool options from this month of December, right? That will be, you know, when these guys are actually coming out. I am quite looking forward, once again, to Janemba, because it's so cool considering he has, like, no figures to his name. It's awesome that he's actually getting a prize figure. And we talked about this in the past, ladies and gentlemen, where Bandai loves to do this thing where they always, right, will release a KUJI figure, and then they will release a prize figure of it later down the line. It happens every single time, and they've done it once again. So it shouldn't be that surprising that this is the way that they like to do things. But hey, you know, I guess it is what it is. Now, there is one more figure they're actually missing here. I don't know how we didn't click on him, but History Box Goku. Yes, indeed. So we are getting another Angel Goku figure. In fact, let me just pull up the HD production images because I found the thread on Baggy's Twitter when I was looking for this here. So I can give you a little bit of a better look at these. Yeah, look at how higher quality images these are than the Big Bad Toy Store ones. I don't know why the Big Bad Toy Store ones like absolutely butcher the quality for some reason. But anyway, we'll just look through these real quick. Again, Janemba looks fantastic, bro. They really cooked on my boy. This is going to be such a cool setup to have. Yeah, like this image, dude, that should just tell you right there how much they really put a lot of care into this figure for sure. Android 16, right, looks fantastic. Here we go. So now we have the Goku, right? And in the meantime, while I'm looking at this, let me see if I can find Rose himself, because Rose is not here. But so this Goku figure, right? There has been a lot of discussion about this figure. For one, once again, right? I know I just said it, and I didn't even mean for this to really be intentional in this regard, but once again, this is another figure where they release an Ichibang Coogi figure of a scene that is something that is a little bit of a, you know, like sought after moment or a sought after character, right? Like Mr. Boo did not have a lot of figures to his name, and now, right, we have a Mr. Boo prize figure, and the same thing has kind of happened with this guy. We just talked about this guy earlier in the video with the LO, you know, the one that comes with King Kai that is a little bit more, you know, Ichibang Coogi quality, and then they go ahead and drop a prize figure version of him. It kind of stinks that this is the sort of business practice that they like to do, because, you know, it basically encourages them to essentially, you know, make a figure that they know a bunch of people will buy, and then, you know, people will buy it again because they want the cheaper option, and then maybe sell the other one. Kind of interesting, if I do say so myself. Also, okay, so by the way, I am double checking on this. I'm glad I included this in the video, because I'm sure some of you in the comments were going to mention this. No wonder I couldn't find any HD production images of Goku Black, right, in terms of the Rose one. Here is the base form one. I will say, I feel like something about his hair is like too thin or something, though he does look pretty good with the light actually flowing through him. Again, because this is a clear eyes figure, this is what this would look like with the light actually through him, and that's why the colors look a little bit dull, because the whole point is you're supposed to shine a light through this. I kind of forgot that we already had this as a figure, right? This clear eyes Goku Black is just a re-release, and then them making the base form version is basically taking the sculpt they already had and then tweaking it a little bit to make a base form version of the figure. Apparently it is the same figure. I don't know, this one looks a lot better to me. This is the original version and this is the re-release. I swear these don't look the same. I feel like the original one has a lot less of the eyeliner, and the colors look a little bit more like how they should, pink, where this one almost looks a little bit more purple. And I swear his face looks a little bit different. I understand the angle is slightly different, but I swear this one looks so much better than this one. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to see. I would really like to get that original one, because I actually really like this figure. I'm not going to lie. Either way, though, I'm glad I included this in the video, that yes, this is indeed a re-release, and it makes sense that they would be re-releasing this, considering that obviously they are giving us a base form version of the figure. But anyway, that is it for the November prize figures, so definitely let me know if you're excited for these. Janemba is definitely my boy. I am so excited for this man, because again, we get no Janemba figures. I may even pick up the Angel Goku, even though I really want the LO one the most, because it is kind of cool that they sort of have him on like a pseudo Nimbus cloud, even though I don't think that's technically what that's supposed to be, but maybe they made it yellow just to kind of have your brain make that synonymous with that. Either way, though, let's go ahead and move on to our final things. Bro, this video is already an hour 30 minutes. Could you imagine if I would have covered every little single piece of Dragon Ball figure news from the past month, rather than just kind of doing this overall summary? We would have been cooked. All right. Oh yeah, this was pretty cool there. Firefly, aka Sam, is actually getting a SH Figures figure, which is pretty cool. Oh, also, SH Figures apparently getting My Hero Academia, because this is Deku and Bakugo, so that's going to be interesting to see how that comes out. Obviously, once again, we did see this Vegeta already. I think there was one more thing. Yeah, so this was the last thing on the Tamashii Nation's website. So here's what's really interesting, right, about what we got here. So on July 20th, they are once again re-releasing. How many re-releases has my boy had? I could not tell you if I tried, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. I'm going to look it up for you. The Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku is once again getting a re-release. Why are they not giving us a 3.0 Goku? Does someone at Bandai hate us? I don't know what's going on, honestly. It's really weird that they don't, right? Like, it feels like either they have to be saving it for the most special thing to ever, like, release on planet Earth, or they're just not gonna do it because they just don't want to. I really don't know why they're not doing a 3.0 Goku, and it kind of seems like that they know that either people who just don't know this stuff, as well as obviously people who are so deep in the collecting community, will just buy him anyway. And it also kind of feels like that they're doing it to compete with the third-party companies. I know I keep saying this, but it kind of sounds like a little bit tinfoil hat theory, but I swear there are so many times where these companies go back and forth, and when they release something or re-release something, you're like, why did they do that? And then the other company releases something, and you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. But yeah, so this guy, this guy, as you can see, right, has now had 1, this was the initial one in 2018, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 releases, including this brand new one. Holy cow, bro. That is crazy that this guy has had so many releases. I mean, it's a good figure, don't get me wrong, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with him. It's just that people want the 3.0 Goku. I mean, they literally, you know, have been almost like teasing it, I swear. Regardless, though, in terms of regular releases on July 20th, we're going to be getting that effects piece for Super Saiyan Goku that is going to come with that faceplate that you can see for the Super Saiyan Full Power Goku. That is what those 2 pictures are next to the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku. I'm actually really excited for that aura effect because I think it's really cool, and they definitely did a very good job with, you know, kind of improving the way that they do those aura effects. Yeah, it's really interesting, to be honest with you. And there's even a bunch of stuff here, honestly, that, like, people are really talking about that they kind of don't like this, right? Like, instead of re-releasing, why not release in retail Super Saiyan 2 Goku, right? That would kind of make a little bit more sense. Obviously, I think this person might be a little confused that they think they're re-releasing Full Power Goku. But unless that actually is what's happening, hold on, wait a minute. Let me go here, Full Power Super Saiyan. I see. It's going to give me that. Okay. Let me go to Super Saiyan Goku then. Because, obviously, it's going to give us this one. Let's actually just click on, I guess, SH Figuarts, because I think that'll be a better way to find it, right? This is the original Goku. Man, look at how many SH Figuarts figures they've actually released, like, just ever. It's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. So, it's interesting, right? This guy right here. Oh, no, he actually is. Okay, I'm glad I double-checked. Never mind, that commenter is super valid then. Yeah, apparently the Full Power Goku is actually getting a re-release himself. It's not just them showing off the extra part. Because I was going to say, I swear this faceplate came with the original release of that Goku. Yeah, then absolutely, I agree with this guy. It kind of feels like that they're just using this Full Power Goku to almost replace that, like, convention exclusive Super Saiyan 2 Goku. I swear, as soon as I buy that thing on eBay, because I have been looking at that thing, that Super Saiyan 2 convention exclusive Goku, I regret not getting it so much on eBay for, like, months now. By golly, I know as soon as I buy it, they're going to announce a new version of it and a cheaper version. I know it's going to happen. I know it. But anyway, so yeah, very interesting, right? I do kind of agree. Why would they not just make a retail release of that figure? Kind of strange, right? Also, this guy, or was it? Yeah, you should really make the new SECC Goku regular release instead of releasing this Goku again. Yeah, that's what's so kind of weird about this, to be honest with you, is that, again, they're re-releasing this guy as a standard release, but then they're also giving us a literal convention exclusive version of him in the form of the Goku and the Gohan. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I'm not going to lie to you. But in terms of other releases, here's some other stuff, obviously. I don't think, I think there's, no, I was going to say, I don't remember if there's one more Dragon Ball thing. But on the 27th, Spider-Punk is going to release, so. Either way, though, That was it for SH Figuarts proper. The only other thing that I wanted to show you in terms of our good game anime. Wow, probably a pretty cool site. I've never used it before. The only other thing that I wanted to show you, obviously, is a little bit of third-party shenanigans, because I did not cover a lot of it, obviously, in the time that I was away. But that is it for all of the official releases. So, obviously, if you're not interested in third-party stuff, that's everything for the video. However, I do still want to cover some of this stuff because, obviously, it is still pretty cool. And I know I've had some comments, especially with me doing videos on more third-party figures. People have been asking me to cover the news, so let's get into it, baby. First of all, Zycor, right? This is a figure that's been on pre-order for a fat minute on 5K Toys. This is a figure that I'm really excited for personally because a couple months ago I read Dragon Ball AF, I read Toybull's version, and I also read Young Gigi's version. Obviously, Toyotaro's is the one that has Zycor, but this figure is super cool. I'm not gonna lie, it is a lot of green. Don't get me wrong, that is how his gi looks, but it is a lot of green for sure. Comparing him there to the Super Saiyan 5 Goku, aka the Spirit Killer Tablos. Interestingly enough as well, by the way, with Zycor, and I'm sure that this is gonna be something that they do to kind of get people to buy these figures maybe in the future with Kong products. They are adding in, specifically for the re-release version, I believe, because the faceplates we found out in my stream, not the GOGETA, sorry. In this stream, right, we found out because I ordered the, like, Xeno Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta from 5K because that was still up, and then the re-releases of the regular figures then came out, right? That guy's faceplates do not work on the new version of this figure. So, with that being said, it is kind of interesting that this is a faceplate that is only going to work on the re-release version of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And I think what this faceplate is supposed to be is the iconic scene where Goku obviously first turns Super Saiyan 3 against Buu. And his eyes are a little bit like, you know, looking to the side because the full Super Saiyan 3 hair is on display. Because technically you can't exactly recreate that scene right now because the standard, like, neutral face is him looking directly forward. So it is cool that they are including that faceplate with Zycor to be able to give you an option to buy it. But obviously that means that if you really want this faceplate to be able to get that exact scene, because funny enough, that's the pose that my Kong Super Saiyan 3 Goku is in right now, but obviously it's not technically correct because the eyes aren't cocked to the side. That means you're going to have to buy Zycor if you want this faceplate. Or maybe somebody on eBay will just sell their extra faceplate, but I'm sure it'll be quite the markup. Regardless, though, we do have some other pictures of this guy here. Here's some close-ups of him next to Super Saiyan 5 Goku. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this figure is awesome. Obviously, this is just using... Here's the faceplate, by the way. Is this flipped? Wait. Yeah, the eyes are looking that way in this one. I think these these images are flipped. Because look, he's on the left side in this image, and then here he's on the right side. Interesting. Well, either way, when it comes down to it, right, I think this figure looks really good, if I do say so myself. Again, they're basically just using the same, like, Goku body that they've been using for a million of their figures, which makes sense. Why would they not just make another figure that's so easy to make? All they had to make was a new head sculpt and new hands and just recolor the body, right? And obviously people will buy it because it's Zycor. Definitely a good marketing decision on Kong's part. But it is cool that they give you like a Super Saiyan version of it. And then I believe this is what his form actually looks like in the manga. I guess I technically never realized because obviously the manga is in black and white. I never realized if it was supposed to be yellow or white. But either way, it's cool that both like are included. It is a little bit interesting, though. You can see that it seems like they have more faceplates for the white hair, though I've always seen Zycor depicted with white hair in any art that I've seen him on. But it's still cool that there is a Super Saiyan version. Obviously, the faceplate is for the Super Saiyan version. It is very cool. It is pretty crazy, honestly, that this is a real figure. It is definitely a little bit interesting. Yeah, I will say this guy does kind of make a fair point. The final product looks a little bit bland. And the yellow on the hair is kind of too yellow. Either way, I pre-ordered, so I'm still hyped. Yeah, I am too. The colors are a little darker in the render, but they could have opted to change it based on other art. Yeah, it's the one thing I will say is I feel like maybe the greens should have been a little bit different shades, because it definitely feels like that the dark greens kind of mesh in with the light greens a little bit too much. Like, I feel like the greens should have been a lot more different shades rather than it almost being just a slightly different tint of green. Again, I don't think it's bad by any means, but I definitely think that they maybe could have made the colors a little bit different to kind of differentiate between the two there. But the faceplate does look good for Goku. Again, I don't think I have really any complaints on that, to be honest with you. I think that just looks fine. But they did talk about this on the 5K Toys website proper for the Boys Zycore here, where they actually have some really cool production images. They definitely stepped up their game on the production images here a little bit more. It kind of reminds me of AR Collector, I think is his name on Instagram, who he takes pictures that kind of remind me of this. But either way, though, yeah, like, these look sick, if I do say so myself. It's kind of funny. I swear in this lighting, the greens look a little bit better. I might have to hit that pose for Zycore. That's a fire pose with his arms out like that. Low-key hitting the Goku Black pose. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Either way, though, definitely a very, very nice looking figure, if I do say so myself. I feel like these images make it look so much better, right? But obviously, this is when they do the type of thing to kind of spruce up the images a little bit more to make you go like, ooh, that looks really good, right? Because obviously, they look a little bit better than, you know, obviously, this is in burst pictures, but this is just some random person who had the figure and posed it up a little bit. So, either way, though, yeah, very cool looking. I'm definitely really, really excited to get that figure for sure. So let's finish up on burst page before we go to 5K here. This is the HMYR Beast sculpt. You guys probably remember me talking about this in a previous video. Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, by the way, crazy, the demoniacal fit Goku and Gohan that we've talked about so many times actually sold out on 5K, which is insane. I'm kind of surprised that people bought that. Yeah, this right here, the HYMR Gohan Beast head sculpt kit, this is apparently what it looks like, obviously with one faceplate. So I like the hair sculpt. I don't really like the face, right? If we're looking at it, it's obviously this particular faceplate, the first one, right? I think that the neutral face will look better because this does look, I have to give them at least, it does look pretty accurate to how the like 3D mold does. I would think that the standard face will probably look a little bit better. And maybe the screaming face. The screaming face kind of reminds me of the FIGUARTS Zero face that they have for the Special Beam Cannon Gohan. But I do like the sculpt. I will admit, though, this person in the comments is right. His eyebrows feel a little bit like purple for some reason. I don't know. Kind of interesting, though. And I do want to throw this up here. We'll look at the other stuff, don't worry. If you remember, there's also a clear hair version. And this is what it looks like on the figure as well. Obviously, you can see the, like, you know, non-painted, like, standard one. But here, right, you can see the Special Beam Cannon face, which I'm assuming is this one. But it does look a little bit different in the final product here. It kind of seems like it. But I don't know if I really like the clear hair look. I don't know. It's kind of funny because usually for me when it comes to figures, I feel like I don't really mind this look. But I feel like if it's either just the way that the clear hair looks in this or just for Beast, I feel like it doesn't really work. Maybe it's just because on the figures that I have it for, I feel like it works a little bit better for. Like, for Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, I have one where he has hair like this, and I don't think it's the best, but it still looks kind of cool, right? And then I feel like, though, it makes more sense for the forms where the hair is almost like more like glowy or like a brighter color. Like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken, I think it works great for that hair, right? I have a Super Saiyan 3 Rosé figure that has this kind of clear hair thing going on, and I think it works really well because it's like Super Saiyan Rosé full power, right? So it's supposed to kind of look a little bit glowy like that, but I feel like for Beast, this clear hair sculpt doesn't really work that well. I will say, seeing these pictures in hand, I'm glad I waited to pre-order this because I was going to buy it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't really think I need it. I also not only have 2 copies of the SH Figuarts Gohan Beast, I also have the DL Custom head sculpt for Gohan Beast, so I don't really think I need these, especially considering that at the end price they're going to be $37 plus shipping per kit, and combined it will be $71. So, yeah, kind of ridiculous on the price a little bit. I ain't going to hold you, but I'm glad that I waited to see some images before deciding to actually buy this. Oh, more Zycor pictures. Hold on. Okay, so it's landing in consumers' hands in China so far. Interesting. Oh my gosh, there's so many figures. All those boys are dead in the background. Is that a severed Vegeta? Oh my gosh. Interesting. So yeah, I guess the Super Saiyan 3 head literally just comes in the bag with Zycor. Interesting. Also, I swear that's the same bag, but I mean, yeah, the figure looks pretty good, right? Like, I don't really think I have too many complaints. Here's a little short video showcase from Billy. Okay, cool. Let's see. So yeah, obviously showing off the different face plates here, showing off the different hair. Oh wait, that actually comes with the figure? The blast? I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, he looks pretty good. I will say the bangs feel almost like a little bit too far forward almost, but definitely not too bad. The other thing I will say about this guy, it's interesting that they're also considering him, as far as I am aware, the same, like, deity god as Super Saiyan 3 Goku, but maybe it's because they're using the same body sculpt. If you guys are unaware, the way that Kong/Beast deities works is when they rebranded to avoid copyright, they call all of their figures different, like, mythological gods, right? Whether it be, like, Egyptian gods, I believe they even have some Indian gods there, too. Oh, interesting. They have a white front hairpiece and when he has, like, the black spikes. See, that's the Zycor that I always see. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and all these different faceplates for him. Yeah, they looks pretty good. Overall, I definitely say he looks pretty decent. It is pretty clear that, again, this is basically just like they took Goku that they already had and retooled it. But again, I don't think that's a bad thing because, I mean, Zycor literally is just evil Goku. I know he's Goku's son, but, like, he's basically just the OG evil Goku. So I don't know. I think it honestly turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. Couple of other things here for you. This is the prototypes of the HMYR faceplates for the Beast Deity Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Kind of crazy that, again, third-party companies are making faceplates for other third-party figures. I see what they're trying to go for here as well. It's supposed to mimic this particular shot from the anime. I think that the smirking face doesn't look too bad. It's so weird. Like, I swear it looks better here than it does here for some reason. But yeah, these faceplates are there. It's so funny, man, that they are making, like, just third-party for third-partyception, man. It's kind of wild. Oh, that's cool. They're just talking about the Ace prototype. Okay, yeah, so this is also something interesting. From Air X HMYR, a torn Goku Gi effect. Left and right options, right? It's kind of interesting. I will say, though, I feel like even though these are kind of cool, I feel like this is something that you could easily make on your own with just a little bit of blue and orange fabric. Maybe you want it to, like, match the plastic aesthetic, but I feel like that's just something you could kind of easily make. We talked about a little bit of this stuff before, I believe, with these, like, Vegeta head sculpts, and we talked about these faceplates for this Super Saiyan God Goku with this super hilarious faceplate. I do actually want to get this, right? I think that this is this one the same? Super Saiyan God, this is the TK one, yeah. Because I believe this is the one that I really wanted because it had that funny head sculpt. This one is actually available on 5K. I know for a fact I didn't talk about this yet. Yeah, this one right here. So you can see, though it is a little bit expensive because they kind of did us a little dirty, I'm not going to lie. So this is what the head sculpt looks like for the regular Super Saiyan God like kit, right? Which looks pretty cool if I do say so myself, right? I think that the eyes are perfect for Super Saiyan God, honestly. It looks awesome if I do say so myself. I really like the punching face too. And apparently this with the goofy shouting face and a bunch of different hands and key blast effects and stuff like that is a separate kit. So if you want both of them, right, the full thing is going to run you 42 bucks, right? A $4 discount, and then if you buy them separately, apparently. So here's the thing, right? Plus shipping. I feel like I've seen face kits go for even more expensive than like the combined price of both of these. You are getting, technically, if you buy both 5 face plates and all these extra accessories, I have definitely seen face kits that have come with much less go for a higher price than this, right? Than if you bought both of these kits together. But it still does feel like a little bit too expensive, to be honest with you, right? Like, it feels like a little bit overpriced. But I don't think it's the worst. It's kind of hard to gauge these like face kits when it comes down to it for this type of stuff, right? Because it's hard to gauge like, well, what's a fair price? Because it's like, well, obviously there's not a figure included, but you're getting all these different faces and all these different accessories and stuff. And I mean, like, even the like Goku effects parts set was like 30 bucks, I think. And that came with a head sculpt and a bunch of different like wind and air effects. So I don't know. I guess it just kind of depends on how you quantify it yourself, right? But either way, let's go back to... Where's my board burst? There he is. So let's go back here. A bunch of interesting stuff, I will say. For one, apparently it kits from Worm, right? I'm sure you guys remember me talking about the Super Saiyan 2 Goku head kit that they've been showing off a little bit. I feel like his face looks a little bit weird in some shots, but like in this, I feel like this looks a little better, though. I think that might be Rose. But yeah, interesting that they're making a, like, you know, clear hair version for both. And then they're also making a rosé that comes with the mask for the Masked Saiyan version of him, which is really interesting. I don't think that these will be on 5K because they haven't gone up yet. And this guy said if it was on pre-order for 2 nights and all gone now, I'm pretty sure, yeah. So it is kind of wild, though, seeing this type of stuff. I don't know why, once again, all these companies are making these, like, masked rosé figures and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. So this is an update on a previous thing that we looked at, I know. The latest look at the Studio Air GT Super Saiyan Goku head sculpts. I actually think that these look really good. I'm not going to lie. Maybe the screaming head is a little bit strange. It's not too bad, though. But I think that the this one with his big chin and the smile, I actually really like the way that that one looks. I'm not going to lie. I think it's pretty cool. Anything else? Shipping soon, says the 20th. It looks like it'll ship late soon. Players, yeah. So this is that thing where basically you can make the like Toyotaro Gi Goku is the idea of this. Obviously, this is a little bit of a custom paint job with the mark from, you know, what he gets in the manga, but where you could take off the top part and then add on the gi. I swear I saw this on 5K at one point, but I don't know, because I don't see it now, and it's been a little while since I've seen it, so I'm not sure if it's there and I'm just misremembering, or if I'm confusing it with another thing. Yeah, this. I think this is the same thing. Let me look. Yeah, this is the same? No, this is not the same thing, because this is the blue shirt Goku thing, and then this is for like the half blue shirt. Yeah, this is not the manga one. So it'll be interesting to see if 5K does get this specifically, because obviously, you know, they've had a couple of different products from Air and HMYR at this point. Yeah, so here's the funny Vegeta face. Look at all these different companies making the funny Vegeta face. It's kind of interesting to see everybody trying to kind of make their own version of this. One company made it, and then everybody, you know, decided to just, bam, hop on the train, which is kind of funny. So very interesting. New renders of the Worm, Tigery, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan head sculpts, right? I really like the windswept head sculpts that these companies do. I think this type of stuff is always super interesting to see what companies come up with. The HMYR also showed updates on the renders for the base Vegito. That looks pretty good in terms of the hair sculpt, I will say. Is this the one that is up? So I talked about on 5K before. The Vegito head sculpts, these are the OC ones, right? That obviously we've looked at before, and I also pre-ordered all of these actually. So I'll definitely do a video on those when I eventually get them. But I believe, yeah, here, as you can see, HMYR is also doing their own Vegito head sculpts, and that was the one that you know, we just took a look at. So these are actually available on 5K if you would like to pick these up. And again, it's so funny that they have a Kong peg so that you can use these on some Kong figures. Right? Again, third party, allocating for third party is quite funny. And if you want to get all of them, it's $91, but they're basically like $32 a pop. Now, here's the thing. I genuinely do think, and let's open both of these in like 2 separate tabs. I actually do think that the face plates look a little bit better on these, right? On the HMYR ones than they do on the OC Toys one. If we compare, right, not that Vegito. This is what I'm looking for. Here we go. If we look, I feel like those are more anime accurate. There are some faces in here that I think look pretty good. But I feel like this is almost like a more like realistic Vegito. Whereas like these ones are more like anime accurate almost. But the thing about this that I feel like is a little bit less of the value to me personally is that the cost between these two head kits for Vegito, right? Oh yeah, by the way, this guy is still up if you do want the Super Saiyan 3 Xeno Kong Vegito figure. But anyway, so these are $32 a pop, and these are also $32 a pop, and for some reason cheaper if you get all of them. Because it's just a little bit cheaper. It's only like $1, I think. But that's the thing that I feel like is so funny, and why I was talking about how it's hard to gauge these like head kits in terms of how much they should cost. Because in one of these, look at how much stuff you're getting for $32, right? You're getting a head, or you're getting like an actual head sculpt, right? With 2 different versions of the hair, right? You're getting like standard hair and then windswept bangs, right? You're getting 6 face plates, right? Am I counting that right? Yeah, 6 face plates. You're getting a crossed arm piece. You're getting a hand piece with the little blue like energy balls at the end. And if you're wondering what those little nubs are that are above the Vegeta with a circle on his head, those are adapters so that you can use them on 3.0 figures, 2.0 figures for SHF, and the Kong body. So you're getting all that for $32. When for this one, for $32, this is what you're getting. Well, not that guy specifically, but you're getting these. You're getting the Kong peg, and then you're getting 3 faceplates, and obviously the hair, right? It's hard to quantify this type of stuff because since it's such like a Wild West type of thing, right? It's hard to say how the price should be, but to me personally, this feels like a lot more value of stuff, even if I feel like the faceplates aren't necessarily maybe as good as these ones. I feel like you're just getting a lot more bang for your buck, and you're just getting a lot more options to use with Vegito. I mean, obviously, you know, that's not even taking into consideration the other versions, right? Obviously, with all these, you're just getting 3 faceplates and the head sculpt and the Kong peg, but with, you know, all of these, you're getting like, for this one, obviously, you're getting all the same stuff here. Again, you're getting an extra bonus head piece, or a hair piece, rather. You're getting the head tentacle from Boo with Vegito holding it. For the base one, you get all the stuff you usually get. You get this really cool hand piece, and then the yellow version of the hand. So, I don't know. I guess it's up to you as the consumer what you value more. I already pre-ordered these before these came up, and I don't even think that necessarily like $30 for a head kit is terrible, as crazy as that is to say. I know I paid like $30 to $40 for the DL Custom Gohan Beast head kit. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. I'm sorry. And it only came with 3 faceplates in the hair, and I was satisfied with it. But again, it just kind of depends on how you want to spend your money and all that good stuff. But either way, something that I just wanted to show you that's available if you do want to get it on 5K. I think, by the way, for that funny Vegito head, let's go back to that just real quick. I believe you get this. Yeah, if you buy all 3, that's how you get the funny Vegito head for that one. It is kind of interesting, though, I will say, that Burst does compare these. And this one is obviously the OC one. But I don't actually see that one in that kit, so I'm not exactly sure if this comes with... This is the HMYR one. I don't know if that's included in here because it's not mentioned on here, or if it's just going to be a separate thing, because the combo bonus for this one is the Yosha face and the thumbs up. So, I don't know. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments section below, because I'm not sure if you are aware of how that works. Maybe I'll ask Burst, because he actually just followed me on Twitter recently, even though I look at his Instagram all the time. Anyhow, this is the Air X HMYR face sculpts for Gohan. I gotta say, and Super Saiyan like 2 Beast. That's really interesting. These look really cool though. This is obviously gonna be like a kid Gohan Beast what if head. That's actually kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I feel like the windswept hair pieces look awesome, and I actually really like the faceplates for this. I think they look really good. Is this available on 5K? Let's see. So there's the Beast head. I don't know if I talked about this last time, but the head kits for Broly, where you can get all these different wild hair pieces, are now available on 5K as well. There's the price for you. But I don't think that particular one for Gohan is available, because this is a Super Saiyan Goku one, and they only have for Gohan at the moment. Okay, so they have the base form version of it, though, where you can get the base form heads, right? Again, this is going to be $42 plus shipping, with all these different faces, right? And it is 2 different kits. There's this one that comes with the head, and then this one that's all the face places. I will say it is kind of scummy that one of the kits comes without the head, because then it's like, well, you're literally not going to buy this one if you're not buying this one because you don't have a head to use it with. So it's kind of interesting that the base form versions of them are up there. Unless that, what I'm looking at there, is the Super Saiyan 2 one. We'll see in a second. So this is the other one that they have for Super Saiyan 1 Gohan. Works with the SH Figuarts 2.0 and 3.0 bodies, which makes sense for obviously the Kid Gohan figure. This is the other kit. These are pretty good face sculpts, so I will say. Like, obviously they're just the 3D renders, but I think they do look good. Same price for the combo, and then obviously a little bit for the standard price. But let's go back. Is this... That's Goku, is it not? Yeah, that's Goku's head. Huh, interesting. I guess they just don't have the Super Saiyan 2 one yet? Maybe it's because it's just not available. Let's see. So what did he say? Have gone live on pre-order. This was on June 15th. Interesting. So I'm not exactly sure why, unless these have already sold out and I somehow missed it, why these aren't available on 5K. Because you would think that if they had the base form ones and the Super Saiyan one, they would have the Super Saiyan 2 one. Because, whoops, I did not mean to click that. This here is actually something else that I've been interested in getting. This is from another studio. This is from DCG. They have this Super Saiyan Goku head sculpt, and this also works with Kong, which is pretty cool. They have the shiny hair version, and then they have the regular, like, yellow, which I actually kind of want to get this, I'm not going to lie, because I really like that look for the Super Saiyan hair. And then they also have a really good base form Goku head kit. I really like the, like, angry faces. I think those look really, really good. And then they also have just some more battle damage versions of it. Yeah, a bunch of different things. How much is it? Oh my gosh, it's 130 if you get them all. That's crazy. And 34 if you get them individually. Yeah, definitely some very good sculpt work on display here, though. Yeah, kind of strange. Let me search this real quick. I'll have to see if I can ask Burst and see if I can't include it in the video for next week as to why 5K might not have that, because he's always pretty good about finding this type of stuff. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why the Super Saiyan 2 ones aren't there, because I would have bought those in a heartbeat, to be honest with you, especially the windswept one. But either way, I digress. What is this thing? I completely forgot the opening song ever announced. This has been a huge boom in the third part of the last few months. Do you remember they had a Beast version as well? Huh, interesting. It's a very weird hair sculpt for Trunks. I guess it's based off of that art. Interesting. Huh, I do know that there was another one that we'll see in about like 5 seconds, I swear. Where is it actually? Did he not talk about it? I guess Burst didn't make a post about it. Here, let's go back. On 5K, I know they had it. Here. Air also is releasing a Trunks head kit with long hair Trunks. It kind of stinks that they don't have it all put together. But yeah, it's literally like light purple or like purple for whichever one that you want. There isn't a combo for this one, by the way, but they are like 30 bucks a pop. I am tempted to get this, I'm not going to lie, but if the Tonson if the Tonson like full Trunks figure ends up having this head, I think, you know, you won't really need this head kit, I guess. But it's definitely not a bad option if you are in the market for something like that. Okay, so let's see. So what is this here? This is the latest images of Air's base Future Trunks Gohan hit kit. I think it was previously expected to release in May, but it got delayed. Not sure on the new planned release. Interesting. It definitely doesn't look too bad. Obviously, it's a little weird because, of course, it's not like Gohan's proper gi. That face does look a little bit strange, I will admit. Something about, like, his eyes. Like, off the body, I feel like they look okay, but then, like, on the body, it looks a little bit weird. Or on the body, rather. I guess it depends on the head. I feel like that one looks okay, the one in the bottom right corner. Either way, though, always interesting to look at this type of stuff. Recustom. Oh, yeah, so this is the recustom Super Saiyan Goku head sculpt. There's so many Super Saiyan Goku head sculpts right now, because obviously since that one came out, you know, since Super Saiyan Goku came out, everybody's been trying to make one. Yeah, so here's some new images of Kid Buu and Trunks, as you can see in some comparison to some other SH Figuarts figures, which is really cool. It is interesting to see him also compared to the, like, you know, regular SH Figuarts Trunks as well, how big he is. He's just about the same size, maybe a slight bit taller, but it's cool to see him next to Kid Buu as well, because I feel like that size is pretty decent, and you could also then line up Kid Buu next to those other figures, I guess, if you really wanted to, but yeah, very, very cool. This is also some more pictures of the Tonson Art Toys Kid Buu. Again, looking fantastic, if I do say so myself. I'm really excited for this figure to release and people to actually do reviews on it, because I really want to see how the quality of this thing is. We've been getting teased about that thing for, like, I swear, over a year at this point. Prototype images of the DCG base Goku and Super Saiyan head sculpts. Yeah, so these were the ones that we were just looking at on 5K, right? If we go back, these were the ones that were, like, toward the top here. These ones that we were just looking at, like, a moment ago. This is what the actual sculpt looks like of it. Obviously, it's not printed on there yet. I might wait a little bit because I do actually really like the way that the hair looks, I'm not gonna lie. And, like, the face sculpts look okay, but it'll have to be, like, how they actually printed onto the figure, right? Still pretty cool looking for sure. And I think this was a, yeah, Burst has been doing some TFS memes, which have actually been really funny, I'm not gonna lie. What is going on here? The Tigery has given us a little tease on the Super Saiyan 2 Windswept head sculpt, in case it wasn't clear in image number 1. Interesting. As well as some look at the faceplates, they seem to be experimenting with eye decals. Not sure if they plan to release some base faces and head sculpts now, or if they're just taking it as a personal project. Interesting. I feel like the eyes, yeah, like that, they should be really smaller, because the big eyes look kind of a little strange. Anything else? Okay, so yeah, so we have some new pictures then of DG with a little bit of just some more, but also the decals on the face. Like, that one looks really good, because obviously that's the "you fool," and then what follows up after it. That is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. That might be an awesome way to display that figure. Okay, so this is what I was really hoping that we would get to. Here we have a very, very good looking picture of the Tonson Art Toys Trunks. For the person who asked, there is currently no announced pre-orders from Tonson directly. Pre-orders have gone up on various shops on AliExpress and other retailers like FiguresMate, but again, no formal announcement was ever made, so be sure to do your research and order at your own discretion. Yeah, so we'll have to see. Because with Kid Buu, right, I believe it was on Omnime Store that you were able to get him, and obviously that's a little bit more of a trusted retailer in the figure community. So we'll have to see when this figure gets like a more proper retailer for us here in the States. But by golly, this looks insane. If this is actually what the figure is going to come with what is that, 7, 8 faceplates? 2 of them being from the base form, and obviously you get the variation of the Super Saiyan hair, and you get the actual sword that you can take out. And you have like the, you know, the little thing that goes around his body to hook the sword around him, right? The strap. You have the thing that you can do where it looks like he's taking off the jacket, all the different hands. If this is really what it's all going to come with, this might just be like the best Trunks figure of all time. Because this is crazy. It's going to be interesting to see how much this guy actually costs. I would assume if it's being included with all this stuff, it's going to be some crazy value. Either way, though, too, it'll also be interesting to see if he does make all those other versions, because I'm sure you guys remember from past videos, there were so many different versions of this figure that Tonson showed off when he was working through a bunch of different prototypes. So it'll be interesting to see what that actually ends up being. Here are some new screenshots of the figure accessories. Yeah, so I really like this little like sweep piece. I think it's really cool. Different heads there. This looks like some stuff that's still experimental, right? Here we go. Yeah, look at how good those look, bro. Even though the picture is low quality, you can tell these look really, really good, if I do say so myself. A little bit of the arm piece with the watch. Yeah, that base form head looks good, bro. Woo! I'm really excited for when this thing will actually come out. Oh, this is the actual like video of the screenshots. Okay, so I guess this is just showing that the joints stay together well. I mean, I'm not surprised by that, considering Tonson straight cooking. Yeah, look at all that stuff. Oh my gosh. Super cool, man. I'm still really hoping for the BoJack movie version. Because that's the one that I want the most. I like Black Shirt Trunks, but man, I really want the BoJack movie version of him, because it's just so cool. Anyhow, let's see. We have a couple of final pictures here. According to Possess Horse Weibo, they'll have a small number of reprints of their Super Saiyan Bardock head sculpt. Interesting. I've actually always kind of wanted this thing, because I always wanted to have a Super Saiyan Bardock head sculpt. So low-key, I might have to see if I can't get this. Interesting. Also, yeah, so this was really interesting. First of all, this accessory is crazy. Obviously, this is Trunks like doing the burning attack, but he sculpted like a bunch of different arms so that it's basically like, you know how obviously it would be looking really fast, so it would look kind of like a blur as to how all the arms are? Well, this piece right here is attempting to emulate that by having all the arms out on the figure at once. I think it looks super sick. It does kind of look like that one scene from that 90s Spider-Man episode where he has like 6 arms, but it still looks sick. I'm not going to lie. So either way, here's what's really interesting. Tonson 05 Back to the Future AB official store special edition is available for pre-order July 1st from 16 o'clock to 16:30 o'clock. The bulk is currently in production and will be shipped before August 10th, which is really interesting. I can't access Taobao currently, so anyone able to get in and share the links, I'm sure would be greatly appreciated, but good luck trying to get those bonuses. Yeah, so it seems like it's really unfortunate because it doesn't look like there's going to be a US release. So here, right, let's see. Okay, so Burst is going to break it down, it seems like, for us with this post here. I'm going to break this down as best I can with what info I came across. Welcome anyone with more details or correction in the comments below. I saw this news from a creator over on Bilibili sharing new images of Tonson Toys Trunks with the following details in the comments. So as we've seen, there will be 2 bonus limited accessories that will be available with future Trunks from Tonson Art Toys. The Z Sword included with Set A, and the Burning Attack in Motion included with Set B. That was the thing I was just talking about. Now, as I understand it, I have to buy it from the, quote, official store, this being the Tonson store on Taobao, he assumes. The Trunks Figures version A and B will go live on July 1st at 16 o'clock, like 12 a.m. PST. I probably already missed that then, for 30 minutes, and then only one version for each person. It says to search that particular thing. This is obviously not something easily obtainable for those of us in the West, unless you are familiar with these shops like Taobao, etc. So if you do not have those accounts and whatnot set up, this may be the opportunity, or I'm sorry, if you do not If you do have those accounts and whatnot set up, this may be an opportunity to snag an order with the bonus. This might not be the end either. Some other sellers may end up selling the individual bonuses later on Zanyu or Taobao, which are both Chinese sites, by the way, if you're unfamiliar. A couple of pages have already started putting up orders for the Kid Buu bonus faceplates, and of course, whatever they're trustworthy or not is the question. But that's what I've gathered so far. Again, if anyone has more details, they are welcome. Very, very interesting, right? So I'm hoping that there will still be some kind of pre-order for the West for these, right? Because it would be kind of a shame if there isn't. Because obviously, you know, let me pull up that Omnime store page. Last time Tonson partnered with Omnime to be able to bring Kid Buu, which again still hasn't released yet, to us here in the West. Unfortunately, though, it seems like, as we basically just looked through, there isn't going to... Oh, no, hold on a second. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I lied. Apparently, I just happened to open Omnime Store because I was going on there to show you it on, for Kid Buu. I don't know if this just went up and Burst hasn't seen it, but there it is. Both versions of Trunks, as you can see. So this is the B version, and this is the A version. So let's see what does everything this come with, because obviously this is also, Burst had it here for... Actually, well, let's look at this, because this will be like a little bit of a comparison. We have to basically disregard the Burning Attack and the Z Sword, because obviously those are going to be exclusives to the, you know, like... whatever, Tonson official store. I don't know if Burst knows about this. I'll have to message him on Twitter and see if he's aware. But either way, though, as you can see, the compared versions between these two, right? So what is the actual difference? I'm trying to figure it out. I guess it's the coloring, because the A version has like the lighter purple hair and the lighter Super Saiyan hair, where it's a lot more of that, like, kind of brighter slash darker, I don't even know how to describe it, purple. For the B version, and the hair looks a lot more like that anime Super Saiyan hair color. It looks like everything else is the same besides the colors, though. You can see, though, for, like, the sheath of the sword, it's red and then blue, rather than the B version, which has like the gray and gold. And the handle of the sword and the hilt of the sword is a little bit different. The strap is also blue on the A version, and the A version also has a little bit more of like a jean jacket color for the jacket, whereas the B version has like, I don't know, I guess just more of like a navy blue. Also, there's a little bit of purple energy on the A version as well, which is really interesting. And it looks like these are actually the two versions that are available here on Omnime. So I'm glad. I was about to be really sad, bro, because after looking forward to this for so long, I was going to be really disappointed if this figure wasn't available for us here in the States. Yeah, I am definitely going to have to pre-order this. I will leave some links in the comment section below, or in the description below, rather. So the price for both of these is $72.99. Ships from the USA. ETA end of... Really? With how long Kid Buu took, that is surprising. Though I guess he has been working on Trunks for a long time. Either way, very interesting. So, do I think that that price is worth it? I would say, you know, we were just talking about, right, that like Vegeta earlier in this video, he's like a $60 figure, but it will end up being $80 because obviously of the shipping and the tax. But he only comes with technically 5 full face plates, right, and you know 4 pairs of hands, right, because obviously they don't include the ones that come on the body, and then the interchangeable parts and the folded arms. With this Tonson figure, you're getting... Holy moly. Okay, so you're getting 2 full head sculpts. You're getting 3 faceplates for the Super Saiyan version. And you're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faceplates for the base form version. Not to mention a windswept hairpiece for the base form version. You're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of hands. And then you're also getting the sword, which is attachable and detachable, and it can actually slide out, and you can have it in his hand, and the swiping piece, and the thing that, you know, makes it look like he's taking his jacket off. To me, that feels a lot more worth the price. You can let me know in the comments section below what you think. But I feel like that feels a lot more worth the price to me, personally, than like how they charge on Premium Bandai with all this extra stuff that they give, right? It will be interesting, though. I don't know how shipping works on this website. So, definitely going to have to see when it comes to shipping on the site. I will let you know after I order, because obviously since I just found this in the video, we'll have to figure that out later. So the only two things that we have left now are latest look at the recustom Legendary Super Saiyan head sculpt. Believe it's expected to release sometime in July. Looking pretty good. And this is really interesting. So I've been doom scrolling and came across this. First they deleted everything on their page, and suddenly it's just full of listings for the Super Saiyan 3 Goku kit. I guess I had been on their page at the right time or something. Looks pretty decent. Different faceplate attachment than what we're used to. I should add, just in case, this is not Demoniacal Fids on you page. Just an independent artist making a product that works for the body. Interesting. The head sculpts look fantastic, though. Or the faceplates, rather. Very interesting. Well, hopefully this releases in some kind of capacity. Oh, there is one more thing that I actually did want to show you. I forgot. Not related to Burst. But on not on 5K's page, but on 5K's Insta, I did want to show you a couple of things. So obviously we talked about that all of this stuff went up for pre-order because we looked at it on the actual website, right? We talked about Fenrir already. We talked about the fact that this already sold out on 5K, which is kind of crazy that it already sold out. Oh, here's what those Trunks head sculpts actually look like on the regular Trunks figure that looks like it has a little bit of a custom with the sleeves cut and the armor Trunks. Those head sculpts do look really good, I'm not gonna lie. I do think the head sculpts look pretty nice on the actual figure there. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. We also have, let's see, so yeah, this from OC. I don't know when or how this is going to release because I haven't seen this on any particular website, but let me show you. I'm sure most of you probably know what this is, but apparently OC Toys is going to be making a face sculpt of the phone meme for Vegeta. If you've seen this meme before, it's basically this. Where it's just like Vegeta with a phone in his hand looking at it. That's basically what they're doing for this, right? I don't know why they decided to make this a thing, but I might have to cop because I love memes. It's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. If they actually make this, I will be there. I'm not going to hold you. But anyway, moving on from that, I think the only other thing that I wanted to show you, we already talked about these kits going up on 5K. We talked about that these guys shipped, right? Because obviously, I mean, I literally got them already. We talked about this face kit. Here, this is the thing that I wanted to show you, and I think this is the final thing that I have for you today. So, if you guys remember, obviously that Xeno Vegeta figure from Kong went up, I think, last year, if I'm remembering that correctly. This is a, hoping these are a bit old in terms of updates, but they're not understandable. They're building it basically from scratch. Yeah, because obviously, right, even though they're doing a 3.0 basically body for Xeno Vegeta, which is kind of funny that the first 3.0 Vegeta is going to be a Xeno Vegeta. Funny how that, or Vegeta. Funny how that ends up working out. But either way, it looks good so far. I know people were kind of talking about some of the stuff here looks a little bit odd. However, they did provide some more updates, right? And these look so much better than those crusty images. Obviously, this is just the mold. But by golly, this looks really good. And I will say another interesting thing, right? First of all, that looks fantastic. That was the head sculpt that I was looking forward to the most with the masked Vegeta. The Super Saiyan 3 hair looks shorter, I swear, than Kong's regular Super Saiyan 3 Vegetas, or Super Saiyan 3 Gokus, rather. So maybe they are making the hair a little bit smaller to kind of, like, balance out the weight a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure, but the figures, sculpt-wise, fantastic. I really, really like the way that these look. I think there might be one more. Yeah, so this, if you remember... unfortunately, there's not like an actual image of this, so I'll just use the Vegito phone meme for this. Xeno Vegeta coat. If you guys remember, I actually didn't order this. I kind of regret not ordering it now, to be honest, considering the fact that this does look pretty good, right? But basically in SDBH, Vegeta has like a couple different variations of this coat that he wears. This is what it looks like, right, with some of the art from it. There's also this one, which is like the black coat, which is kind of what I was hoping that they would do, because that's what he has when they fight Dr. W, right? That's what the coats look like here. You can even see, let me go back to that. Yeah, like right here when he's fighting him. But there is also like this version of it, which he also wears in this scene, right? Which seems like that's the design that they're going with. It doesn't look too bad, to be honest with you. I think it looks pretty cool. I will be curious to see if they also make the other version of the coat. Again, like this person said, I kind of regret not getting it, so I do sort of hope that they end up making like another, you know, re-release of this somehow. But if they don't, I mean, this is something that I guess you could also like kind of make yourself if you really wanted to put in the work for it. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna do it for this video. Holy cow, I know this was a really, really long one. This was a 2.5-hour video. This may be one of the longest figure news videos that I've ever done, but obviously I wanted to play catch up, and I'm really glad that we didn't go through every single exact piece of figure news we've gotten. Otherwise, like I said, I thought this video would have been 3 hours, and it's already almost 3 hours, even just going through a summary of everything that I missed for the past month. But that makes sense, because having a video every 2 weeks would equate to like either half an hour, you know. So obviously having this much stuff to talk about kind of makes sense. I can't fall off the wagon like this again, bro. I can't keep doing these 2.5-hour videos. But this was fun, though. I'm not going to lie. I actually really enjoyed myself. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, we'll be back to the regular schedule this weekend / next Tuesday whenever I decide to upload the figure news video. We'll be back on track for uploading the figure news videos proper. Obviously, this was just a really big one to kind of play catch up. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what figure you are looking forward to the most in the comments section below. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. Links to everything in the description below. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.